already. They don't mess around. They get right out of town and get on back down to San Diego. Padres will start a homestand on Friday night. Uh-oh. Here come the dreaded Rockies.
Charlie Blackmon is not on the team anymore, so maybe he was the curse.
Maybe. We will hope that is the case. But for today and for tomorrow, because it's an off day, the Padres will continue their stay in sole possession of first place in the National League West. They had not been there since June of 2022. But the victory over the Athletics in the first game of the series put them in first place. They were able to stay there thanks to the Dodgers and Giants both losing yesterday. And with the Padres holding on for that 2-1 victory over the A's today, despite both the Dodgers and Giants winning today, Padres stay on top in the NL West. They're the first team, Skraby, to reach 10 victories.
I love it.
In this young 2025 season. And you got to be happy with the win today. I mean, they did it without Fernando Tatis Jr., Jake Cronenworth, and, of course, Jackson Merrill, who's already on the injured list. Look, if you can't hit and you know you're not going to score a bunch of runs, you're going to have to rely on your pitching and your defense. And that's exactly what the Padres were able to do today. Iglesias turned a brilliant double play, I thought, to get Vasquez out of that fifth inning, get him through the fifth inning. And I was honestly thinking along with Mike Schilt there. You've got a 2-1 lead. Vasquez easily could have gone out for the sixth inning. He'd only thrown 70-some-odd pitches. He'd only given up one hit. But you got a 1-run lead here, and you don't have your offense, right? To me, you're thinking, if you're Mike Schilt, 2 may be all I get today, which means I can only allow 1. And so what did he do? He took Vasquez out, and he went with the most sure thing in baseball, the Padres bullpen. And they came through. Adrian Morejon, an inning. Jeremiah Estrada, an inning. Jason Adam, an inning. Robert Suarez, an inning, and you win 2-1. To me, that was really, what you had to do today. If you got more than 2, terrific. But they were able to scratch out 2. And I think Mike Schilt realized that may be what we have to work with today. And so he took Vasquez out maybe a little earlier than he needed to, but when you've got these 4 guys for the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, the 4 of them combined have only given up, I think, 1 run the whole season. You just take your chances and you hang on to your 2-1 lead and you get out of town. And that's a pretty effective road trip. They lost the first 2. They end up on the road trip, Skraby, going 9 for 56 with runners in scoring position.
That's gross.
Yes, those are the 2022 numbers.
That's gross.
Or 2023 numbers. Remember that team in 2023?
Oh, yeah.
They couldn't
I don't want to think about it.
I know. They couldn't get hit with runners in scoring position the whole season. Well, after the homestand, they were hitting well over 300 with runners in scoring position. But on this road trip, they did not do that. 9 for 56.
2 for 14 today.
Yeah, right. 2 for 14 today. I mean, they left 11 guys on base today. They could have made it a whole lot easier. But, it didn't work out that way, and I think Mike Schilt recognized that might be the case. So, kudos to Schilt. I think he did it exactly right. When they went to the bottom of the 6th and it was 2-1, I thought, I got Morejon rested. I got Estrada. I got Adam, and I got Suarez. None of them pitched yesterday. Let's just try to win this game 2-1. And that's what they did. That's what they did. Look, if you're going to have a great season and a great team, you got to find different ways, all kinds of ways to win games. And that's what today's was. So
the only thing that I agree with everything you're saying, except for the fact that Randy Vasquez only threw 61 pitches. Now, obviously, he didn't have the control that he
doesn't.
He's the traffic cop, is what we call him. Well, he gets out of it, and he's been pretty good. But don't you want to see sometimes your pitcher go back out there and struggle through?
Yes, when I have a little cushion, then I'm more than happy to help him go out there. But when I want to get a 500 homestand and I've got a day off tomorrow, so I know
that's the biggest part.
I can rest everybody tomorrow, and none of them pitched yesterday. I'm trying to win that game 2-1, and my best chance to do that is to not send Vasquez out for the 6th inning. Vasquez is going to give me a heart attack before the season is over because he can't throw strikes consistently.
Yeah.
And if you look at the game today, the run that the A's scored was only after he walked the first 2 hitters in the 2nd inning. And then in the 5th inning, he gave up a 1-out walk to Urias, and then he fell behind 3-0 on Max Muncy. And I thought, oh, that's going to be another walk, and you're going to bring the top of the order up with 2 guys on, and you're asking for trouble. And I will give Vasquez credit there. He made some good pitches to Muncy to get back in the count, and then got the ground ball, and Iglesias got him out of it with that really good double play. But if you're telling me, I know what you're saying. I got to see my starters struggle through and go 6-7. Sure. If I got a 5-1 lead, Vasquez would have been back in for sure. But with a 1-run lead, who do you trust more, Vasquez or the 4 bullpen guys?
I obviously trust the bullpen.
Well,
I obviously trust the bullpen, but I do think these guys have appeared in a lot of games, and I know that Mike Shildt and co. are much better at managing schedules. I just think that 61 pitches, they weren't hitting the ball anyway. Randy Vasquez only gave up 1 hit today. He only walked 3 batters. He was not, it was a struggle to get that stat line, but it wasn't a terrible day. The stat line definitely does not tell the full story.
He deserved to go out for the 6th inning under almost any circumstance other than the fact that they had a 1-run lead and a day off tomorrow. Those were the 2 things that got Mike Shildt thinking, I'm going to just nail down this game with the sure thing, which is my bullpen. I think Mike Shildt did it absolutely right. And as the season goes along, Vasquez and the starters, whoever they may be, will get those chances to go, a few more innings. But you like to have a little cushion. Give him a chance to walk a guy and not be sweating it out. I
think Randy Vasquez lives for base traffic.
Here's the last thing about Vasquez, and then and Mike Shildt's decision.
I have one more thing about Mike Shildt too.
Okay, you can throw it in.
Yeah.
But the bottom of the 6th inning started with the top of the A's order, which means it would have been the 3rd time through that Butler and Soderstrom and Rooker and all those guys would have got to see Randy Vasquez. There was just a lot of things that added up that made that the right move. And you know darn well that if Mike Shildt does something that I don't think is right, I'm going to say it. But I think he did it absolutely perfect today. And it paid off. It worked out.
In the end, I'm not going to complain because they won.
Right.
I'm just presenting some things that I thought about during the game. And I think people need to give Randy Vasquez more credit. Through 3 games, he has a 1.72 ERA and 15 2/3. He has walked 12. That's the big thing right there.
Is that all?
Yeah, he has walked 12, but his whip is 1.21.
I know. How many hits has he given up? About 4?
7.
Yeah, he doesn't give up very many hits.
He's only given up 3 earned runs. I get it. It's a long season. He may not be ready to go the 6 innings, even though he only threw 61 pitches.
He went 6 innings in the opener in his first start against the Braves. He went 6 innings in that game.
He did. You're right.
Yeah, so he'll get his chances to do that. I'm telling you, it was everything out there that conspired to get him out of that game today, and Mike Shildt made the right decision. And the bottom line, until further notice, Randy Vasquez is doing a credible job.
Thank you.
But I didn't say he wasn't. He's doing a very credible job, but he scares the daylights out of me because at any moment he can walk 2 hitters or a third or throw a wild pitch. And eventually you're not going to get away with that at the big league level. Somebody's going to hit one up against the fence and you're going to be behind 4-2 before you know it. So Mike Shildt, maybe you would have put him out there for the 6th inning, but you got wider arteries than I do.
Here's what I want to say about Mike Shildt, though, and why I think that he did make the right decision is because this fits with the decisions that he's made ever since he took over manager as the Padres. Last year, he did the same thing. He manages every game to win the game, no matter. He doesn't look too far forward. I think that, yes, this was the right move because they won and it worked out.
I can't believe
I want to see more
with you about this,
Randy Vasquez.
Honestly, they won the game. They're 10-3. Everything is going absolutely perfectly well, except for the injuries. You got Jackson Merrill started out as It's got a little balky hamstring. He might miss a game.
Balky.
The next thing we know, 10-day injury list. And now it's a strained hamstring. Now, what happened between the day it was a balky hamstring and the day it was announced as a strained hamstring? I don't think he, aggravated it.
I have an answer.
Okay. Give it to me.
The answer is this. They really did, because I thought about this a lot last night. They really did think that he was not going to go on the IL, or else they would have put Oscar Gonzalez on a plane much earlier than getting him there in like the second or third inning. I think that they waited for Jackson to test it out, and then Jackson told them whatever they needed to hear to put him on the IL. I don't think that they planned on putting him on the IL.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
He's now on the injury list. He's due to come back next Friday.
Yeah.
The 18th,
when
they go to Houston.
He's back.
Will he be in the lineup that game?
Yes.
How do you know?
I don't, but I have a good feeling.
How do you know, Dr. Skraby?
I have a great feeling about it.
Did you stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night?
No.
You have more knowledge than you normally have?
I read about the hamstring last night on Wikipedia, so I have a full knowledge of the
because
hamstring injury.
We talked about this yesterday. Does anybody thinks that Padres are telling us the God's honest, every detailed truth about his hamstring? I've got some swampland in Florida to sell you. They're not telling us. They're not going to tell us, because they're like every other team in Major League Baseball, and they're like every other team in the history of sports. They're not going to share any injury news. They're going to tell us the least amount to appease us. And right now, that least amount is we feel Jackson's going to need about 10 days to get ready. I hope on the 18th he's back in the lineup. He very well may be. But I still always, until he is, I have my doubts.
I think that's fair. And you know what? That does put doubts in my mind about, Mike Shilt's update on Fernando and Jake Cronenworth. They could have played today in an emergency, and he and Jake, Tatis and Jake, are both tracking well for a Friday return. I don't know that I can believe any of that, because they're fibbing like every team does in Major League Baseball. So how can I really believe that they're tracking for Friday when Jackson was only going to be out he was day to day?
Well, we don't know if they're fibbing. They could be telling us the exact honest truth that, Jake and Fernando both be back in there Friday, and hopefully they will. But if they know that there's a chance they won't be back Friday, I don't believe they would tell us that. I believe that they're going to tell us that they will be back. And then if it changes, they'll change the story.
100%.
And that again,
and Mike Schilt does say that, by the way.
I'm not picking on Schilt. I'm not picking on the Padres. I'm not picking on the organization. They're doing what everybody would do in this situation. They're telling us that Fernando and Jake will be fine. Even further, Fernando apparently could have played in an emergency today. I'll tell you what thing, if that game goes to extra innings, they might have needed him in that emergency. The only bench player they had was Yuli Gurriel, and he batted in the top of the ninth inning. After that, there was one guy on the bench, and that was your backup catcher, who teams don't like to put into games in case the starting catcher gets hurt.
Yeah.
So if that game goes to extra innings today, maybe we would have been able to test that theory about whether or not Fernando could have played in an emergency.
It is nice to be able to say that after the game.
Yes, it is.
And I will say that Mike Schilt said they reserved the right to, kind of change their mind. We'll play it in the next segment. Or do you want to play it right now?
We're talking about it right now. Let's hear what Mike Schilt actually had to say after the game about the injuries to Jake and Fernando. Sure.
I do. Nothing, Crony, we still feel like cramp, still getting some of that out of there, inflammation fluid a little bit out of there. We do expect him, but we'll hold our feet to the fire with him being in there on Friday. Toddy had a good night, good day today. Could have been available in a pinch. Clearly stayed away from him. So he's optimistic. We're optimistic as well.
For Friday, just to be clear.
We're optimistic for Friday, but again, we got some time between now and then to evaluate it. So we reserve our right, but they're both tracking in a good place.
We reserve our right.
I love how he says we reserve the right, as if he didn't say that and then Fernando couldn't play.
Yeah.
They'd have to put him in anyway because they didn't, reserve the right.
Well, he knows how the media works. We're going to be like, well, Mike Schilt said he was back in Friday. He's not back in. What's going on?
What's happening, Mike?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Yeah, it's a tricky, little high wire act that you have to do if you're the manager of a big league team, because you have to tell the media something. they're there. They want to know. The fans want to know. But you don't want to tell them everything.
No, you can't tell them everything.
And you can't tell them everything. I've never been around a team that does tell them everything.
I will say that a shoulder injury for Fernando was like maybe my least favorite thing ever to hear last
Probably
night.
not what you wanted to hear, other than the fact that he did have the surgery on the shoulder several years ago, and we were told and we assume that kind of fixed the problem of that jumping in and out of the socket. It hasn't happened since then. So let's just hope that this is something maybe not necessarily related, even though it's the shoulder. As far as Jake's concerned, the fact that he missed the game today is not surprising at all.
Not surprising.
If you go back to that hit by pitch, they say he got hit in the ribs. First of all, has anyone out there ever had a bruised rib?
Yes.
Think about it for a second.
Yes.
You can't breathe. You certainly can't laugh.
Talking hurts.
Moving in any
everything.
direction hurts. So the fact that, he's trying to play through that and, ultimately couldn't is not surprising.
Yeah,
so
get the day off. Get your kidneys back to health, Jake.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see Friday, but you got the day off. It's a good thing you have it tomorrow. You got a 10-3 record. Everything is fantastic. The Padres beat the A's 2-1 today. We'll take our first break. We got other things to get to, but when we return, I got my wife's shopping list again, Skraby.
Here we go. The Chris Notebook.
It's not the Notebook. If you're going to call a new segment by its name,
what is it?
You have to call it what it is.
What is it?
Notes on a Scorecard.
I forgot.
That is the name of this next segment.
It's not a scorecard, though.
We will take you through everything that happened today from a little bit of a different perspective. I also have what I feel is a ridiculously crazy statistic having to do with Dylan Cease and his performance last night in that loss. And I'll give you that and the rest of the Padres stuff when we come back. Gwynn and Chris underway following a 2-1 win over the Athletics today on 97.3 The Fan.
Breaking up.
Chris, hello. Yeah, we're here in Cooperstown for 97.3 The Fan. So excited, the induction weekend for the great Trevor Hoffman. What a class he's going in with, too. Let's take a look. Of course, Alan Trammell from Kearney High School in San Diego. And then, of course, the Detroit Tigers' great shortstop, Jack Morris, in a Tiger uniform there, but I always remember him pitching that 1-0 shutout in Game 7 of the 1991 World Series for the Minnesota Twins. Maybe the greatest postseason pitching performance of all time. Chipper Jones, Padre fans remember him. Every fan of a National League team remembers him because he would come in and do damage to that team. Only the second #1 overall pick in the Major League Draft, Chipper Jones, to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. The other is Ken Griffey Jr. Vladimir Guerrero, never met a pitch he couldn't swing at, and powerhouse hitter for the Expos, and then, of course, the Angels at the end of his career. Jim Thome, over 600 home runs, mostly with the Cleveland Indians. And then, the guy down here on the end who used to get all these guys out all the time, Trevor Hoffman, the greatest Padre reliever of them all. Two of the greatest outfielders in the history of baseball. Of course, you've got Babe Ruth right here. Ted Williams right over there. I was wondering who the third outfielder would be. And then, of course, it hit me. Tony would be upset if I didn't say that the third outfielder, who will someday probably be displayed right here between these two guys, is obviously Mike Trout. and this is the San Diego Padres locker room here in Cooperstown. Obviously, a couple of jerseys there and hats, gloves, all-star stuff. I think the most interesting thing in this entire display, though, especially this weekend, is a picture in the top corner of Angus Young. He's the guitarist for AC/DC, wearing a Trevor Hoffman uniform, obviously playing Hell's Bells. I know that Trevor went to many AC/DC concerts and was honored by sitting in the front row to watch AC/DC play Hell's Bells in his honor. But there's a picture of Angus Young playing Hell's Bells for Trevor Hoffman, wearing the 51 jersey right there. Crisello, yeah, we're here in Cooperstown for 97.3 The Fan. So excited, the induction weekend for the great Trevor Hoffman. What a class he's going in with, too. Let's take a look. Of course, Alan Trammell from Kearney High School in San Diego. And then, of course, the Detroit Tigers, great shortstop. Jack Morris in a Tiger uniform there, but I always remember him pitching that 1-0 shutout in Game 7 of the 1991 World Series for the Minnesota Twins. Maybe the greatest postseason pitching performance of all time. Chipper Jones, Padre fans remember him. Every fan of a National League team remembers him because he would come in and do damage to that team. Only the second #1 overall pick in the Major League Draft, Chipper Jones, to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. The other is Ken Griffey Jr. Vladimir Guerrero, never met a pitch he couldn't swing at, and powerhouse hitter for the Expos, and then, of course, the Angels at the end of his career. Jim Thome, over 600 home runs, mostly with the Cleveland Indians. And then, oh, yeah, the guy down here on the end who used to get all these guys out all the time, Trevor Hoffman, the greatest Padre reliever of them all. Two of the greatest outfielders in the history of baseball. Of course, you've got Babe Ruth right here. Ted Williams right over there. I was wondering who the third outfielder would be. And then, of course, it hit me. Tony would be upset if I didn't say that the third outfielder who will some... We got the Del Norte High School Marching Band or something there. That sounds a little...
Got to turn on my microphone. When I look for stuff,
hear a little harmonica in there. I hear, a bunch of tuba and trombones, and
it's whatever puts me in a good mood.
Okay.
And this made me think of like what is it called? Splash Mountain.
Listen to this.
Makes
it's a happy
Disney.
Day. It's a happy day.
Oh, it's a small world. That's what it makes me feel.
Okay. Like. Yeah. Well, it's a happy day indeed. Padres over the A's 2-1. If you just tuned in, Crisello and Matt Skraby, Tony Gwynn Jr., along with the Padres, returning home now after a 3-3 road trip, leaves them with Major League Baseball's best record of 10-3. They are the first team to 10 victories in this young season. They got it done today, despite leaving 11 runners on base, going 2 for 14, RISP.
RISP.
But Mike Schilt, I think, recognized it and he got his the closest thing to automatic in baseball right now. Padres 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th inning with those 4 guys in the bullpen, and it was shut down pitching, and that protected the win for Randy Vasquez. Padres will host the Rockies starting on Friday night. The Rockies are just awful. They're terrible, but we know that they also took 8 out of 13. Yeah, it's psycho. It is. It's not psycho. It's bizarro world. I mean, all of a sudden, Brenton Doyle turns into Mickey Mantle, and Ezekiel Tovar looks like he's Barry Larkin. And I mean, it's just incredible what they do when they come to play the Padres.
I got to think it's the curse of Bud Black.
Maybe Bud's got something, right.
Up his sleeve, Padres, like they want to play extra hard for him or something.
Yeah, Padres, let Bud go. And, there he is in Colorado with a 2-win team getting ready to come in. And
I didn't know it was that bad.
Oh, yeah, they haven't done much yet this season, so.
Do the Braves have 2 wins yet?
Yes, they got their second win last night.
Good for them.
So, all right, Dodgers won today, if you're wondering. Giants won today. Mike Yastrzemski, old Yaz, hit a walk-off homer for the Gigantes. So, the standings pretty much stay the same in the NL West, but the Padres are on top, which is where they want to be. A couple of things we'll keep an eye on throughout the show. We're here till 7 o'clock tonight. The long-awaited game in the NBA tonight between the Lakers and the Mavericks in Dallas, with Luka returning to Dallas, is getting underway shortly. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Is this a live shot on screen? Because they're showing a big old highlight video.
There. Yeah,
and he's very emotional.
Yeah, the Mavericks really wanted to honor Luka Doncic tonight.
Save it, Mavericks.
And apparently Luka's Luka's agent said,
it's in the Big Five, but the Mavs put together like some sort of sponsorship package from all of his sponsors. And
I think they were going to have welcome back T-shirts and everything passed out to the crowd, but that did not happen. Now, what did happen was a very nice tribute video that has moved Luka Doncic to tears, and he's coming out now to acknowledge
Dirk Nowitzki,
the fans in Dallas. So I think, look, I get the agent. I get the whole thing. Dallas traded him. But I think a moment like this was worth it.
It
was worth it.
That is a moment that they should have done. All the other stuff of like trying to smooth over, because your fans hate you for this.
Right.
Like they absolutely hate the franchise now.
Yeah.
Because you traded away the superstar.
Yeah.
And don't act like, oh, hey, I'm going to get Luka some sponsor dollars and everything's going to be okay. You chose this. So you have to lie in your own bed.
Well, the Mavericks, regardless, did a very nice tribute video. As I said, Luka was kind of moved to tears, came out on the floor.
Yeah.
All his teammates were there applauding. Dirk Nowitzki was in the crowd and others applauding the return to Dallas.
I wonder if Mark Cuban's
Luka Doncic.
I don't know if he is, honestly.
Didn't he get a technical foul a couple of weeks ago?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, Cubans get a little crazy these days. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on Luka's return to Dallas tonight. Also, tomorrow, it's
you're waiting for me. You're waiting for me.
Hello, friends. Yeah, the Masters gets underway tomorrow. I don't think, like my night that I get so excited and don't sleep very well is the night before the NCAA tournament starts, because I like that 9 a.m. tip-off. I get up early. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. This is your night. I can see you not sleeping much tonight. First tee off tomorrow, 4:40 a.m. Pacific time.
It's not going to be up for that, Chris.
I'm saying you're there.
I'm not going to be up for that.
You don't want to see the
no.
Doesn't Nicholas still hit a ball?
Don't care.
Remember they used to do that.
I'm pretty sure they still do.
They used to bring Nicholas out, Arnold Palmer, and he's not when he was alive.
Yeah, and Gary Player. Gary Player still does it.
They all three would hit a drive to signal the beginning of the Masters.
They would barely make it to the fairway these days because the fairway is like 400 yards away.
That's all right. If I was playing in a foursome, a scramble, we would use Jack's drive just on merit alone.
Well, he's got old guy swing now. Jack, which is a perfect swing, by the way.
I'm sorry. I'm sure Jack can still send it pretty far down the road.
I'm sure Jack could still shoot 70 if he wanted to.
Maybe
that might
80.
Be pushing
I'll give him an 80.
Shoot his age, which I think he's in his 80s.
I'll give him an 80. I will say this, Skraby. You weren't alive for it, I don't think. 1986?
I was one.
You were one. So you weren't, you didn't experience it. The Masters is not my all-time thing. I love it. I do like it. But one of the greatest sporting moments in history did take place at the Masters. in 1986 when Nicholas, at far past his prime,
I think it was like 45.
Yeah, whatever, rallied from like 9 shots down on the back 9 to win the Masters. It took a Greg Norman collapse to help him do it. But that was a moment for the ages. There's no question about it.
Tom Watson also does the tee
Tom
shot.
Watson does the tee shot.
Ben told me that.
All right, thank you, Ben. But speaking of the Masters and Ben, Skraby and I and Ben and Woods put together a little Masters draft. We're going to have some fun. All right, we got it.
I love this music so much.
Cool it over there.
It's so good.
Cool it over there, Billy Joel.
Is that who made this?
No, he's the piano man, though.
Oh,
so I'm
that's
figuring
hilarious.
you're going Billy Joel.
Okay.
No, but we did a little Masters draft, and I believe I haven't been given full report on this. Full report on this. I believe we're all betting paychecks on the.
Whoa! Was that
on our
something that
draft.
was discussed after I got off the thread?
Well, here's what I would do if I were you, Skraby.
What?
I would agree to that because I'm pretty sure Ben and Woods' paycheck is a lot bigger than ours. So they'd be risking a lot more than you and I would be risking if it were a paycheck type thing.
Oh, they're not going to want my paycheck. They're going to be like, "Hey, we're going to set up an interest-free payment plan for you."
No, we're not betting paycheck. We're not betting paychecks, but we do have a little friendly wager on the side.
Yes, we do.
To see whose 4 players will do the best in the Masters, and we'll tell you about how our draft played out a little bit later in the program. But right now, let's check traffic, and then I've got notes on a scorecard.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Hamul Casino. Pick a freeway. You're going to find activity on just about all of them this afternoon. Crash on the coastline, northbound 5 before Carmel Mountain Road, clearing that out of middle lanes. Also an accident on the Nobel on-ramp to southbound 5. Southbound 5 near Mile of Cars Way, collision in the center divide. Crash has cleared from the Telegraph Canyon Road off-ramp southbound 805. Might still find a little residual slowing there. An accident on the southbound 125 Spring Street off-ramp. It's over to the right shoulder. And now getting reports of a stalled vehicle in middle lanes, northbound 15, just before Market Street. Hey, players, things are about to get real here in San Diego with the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, where you can play your heart out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. Opening this summer, Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place. Learn more at hamulcasino.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, very good, Kelly Danick there. Take your time, relax, getting home. That's what we're here for, to help you get on home. Enjoy a little Gwynn and Chris here on the way. All right, time now for notes on a scorecard. I sit there, I watch the game, I jot down a bunch of notes on my wife's shopping list paper, and we bring that to the program after day games, at the very least, Skraby. So
yes,
I need a little music, even though you don't, I think, have official music for this segment yet.
I need to get all this. It's going to happen now that I know it's an official segment.
It's
But do you remember when we did Stratomatic baseball?
That was COVID related, but yes, we
here's
did.
the music for that.
Okay, I'll live with that.
This is okay.
It's all right. Here's my notes on a scorecard. And before I get to today's game, I think the strangest thing that happened on the entire road trip happened last night in the Padres 10-4 loss to the A's.
Okay.
It happened in the bottom of the first inning when Dylan Cease gave up a hit to 5 consecutive batters. How crazy was that? He's made 35 starts with the Padres last year and early this season. In those 35 starts, he's only given up more than 5 hits 11 times. 24 times he's been 5 or fewer. So how crazy was it last night that they got 5 hits in a row off this guy? You're not going to see that very often, if ever. And Padres, of course, went on to lose that game last night.
Are we interjecting, or are we just going through and then coming back to things?
On the scorecard?
Yes.
No, you interject whenever you like. It's all meant for discussion purposes.
The Dylan Cease thing, I love Dylan Cease. I know that he can be a great pitcher, but the inconsistency is something that we see. I mean, he can go 2 good starts in a row and then have 2 so-so starts. And I don't know what it is about the consistency with him.
I disagree. I mean, to me, 24 great starts, 11 not so great.
I'm not saying he's bad.
That's a much better than 50-50 percentage. You're going to get a great outing from him 90% of the time. And I'll tell you what he needs to do Honestly, Skrabe, if he wants to get through this rough patch, beard's got to go.
I was thinking about that.
Don't like the beard on Dylan Cease. I like the mustache, which made him really the only mustached guy in Major League Baseball, without any scruff on his beard.
Yeah.
I thought that's the look. We talked to him about it at spring training. He said that he likes to change up kind of when he gets a whim. Dylan, now it's time to get the whim. Beard's got to go.
I think he is a guy, just not really knowing him, that he will think about this.
I think he will. I think he'll take it under advisement. I think he will definitely take it under advisement.
Yes.
All right, today was April 9th. So before the game started, a little note on the scorecard for you. What happened 4 years ago this very day, Skraby? Speaking of Dylan Cease, kind of.
This very day.
4 years ago.
Would it have been 4 years ago? It was 2021.
April 9th.
I don't know.
First no-hitter in Padre history was thrown.
Oh, by Joe Musgrove. It's right there on the wall.
Musgrove. Yes, Mr. Musgrove. 4-year anniversary of his no-hitter. Today was the 28th anniversary of Luis Arraez being born.
Okay.
It's his birthday today. Was not a great day for Luis. He went 0 for 5, which we don't see very often. He also struck out for the first time this year.
Wow.
He was the last player in Major League Baseball to strike out of those who had qualifying numbers. He went 57 at-bats this year before his first strikeout, which took place in the ninth inning, and it was on a pitch that actually hit him.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
But
I know exactly what you're
bat.
talking about. And he didn't even realize that he swung the bat and was out until after.
Mike Schilt came out to argue, but it was kind of a half-hearted argument.
Okay, let's
he didn't
talk
have
about
much of an argument on that.
I know this rule's been the rule forever.
Right.
But do you think it's fair that the batter the pitcher gets rewarded for hitting a batter that swings because they're defending themselves?
I don't know how else you can do it. You swing the bat, you strike, that's it. You're out. That's it.
That's more of like a reaction to not get hit by the baseball, and your bat just happened to go through the strike zone.
All right, well,
they're not going to change the rule.
The day that Rob Manfred steps down to become a full-time drinker, you can change the rule.
I don't want to change the rule. I just think that's a strange rule because
it is a little crazy.
Okay.
I will be honest with you. I mean, because I don't think a lot of people even know it. That, if you swing on a ball that you're hit, that's a strike. It doesn't count as a hit by pitch. It is kind of a strange one. Xander Bogaerts.
Oh, let's give him a round of applause.
All right, he's on the. He's certainly one of the notes on the scorecard today. He had 3 hits. How about this? Xanda. Now hitting a cool. No, that's not right. He had him at 268. I don't think they've updated this.
Oh.
Anyway, I
have it right here.
He's got a 9-game hitting streak right now, though.
He does, and he's also hitting. It says 304.
Moved him up to 304 today. So, look, I want to see more pop. I want to see, doubles, triples, balls bouncing off the fence. But I'll take this version of Xander over the one I've seen the last 2 years. Right?
Yes.
He's, he hit some balls hard today. Jason Hayward. This is a guy that I'm sure everybody is, getting very frustrated with and, probably wants to run him right out of town. Had a couple of good moments today, though. And I think it's fair to mention them because we're mentioning all of the bad ones.
Yeah. That's what we do here, Chris.
Yeah, I know. His first at bat, he had a 2-0 pitch right down the middle. And he swung like a rusty gate. And I'm thinking, this is why he's not getting it done. 2-0 pitches, you got to just tee it up and launch. And he looked bad. But a couple pitches later on a 3-1 pitch, he did put a good swing on one. Hard line drive into the outfield base hit. Probably the best at bat I've seen him have since the double he hit off the fence against Cleveland a couple weeks ago. He also got an infield single later in the game in which he grounded to first base. And at whatever age he is, 36, outran the play and dove head first to be safe. Look, that's the kind of hustle I want on my ball club.
Exactly.
I know Jason Hayward is a major struggle, major disappointment. I know nobody feels good about him right now, but let's give him credit where it's due.
He was doing something to impact the game, and he did it. And he did it at 36.
Yeah.
And he put his body on the line. I appreciated that.
I appreciated that as well. All right, into Randy Vasquez. The second inning was annoying. Leadoff
is
walk.
That your note?
It is. Leadoff walk on 4 pitches. I immediately throw my hands up. And by the time I get my hands back down, he's already walked the next guy. And this has got to stop. It just does. And before they're going to trust Randy Vasquez. with more than 5 or 6 innings in a close game, because he can lose the strike zone like that. And the guy that drove me nuts in this series was Jacob Wilson, the shortstop for the A's.
Okay.
He had one of their hits today. He's got a 14-game hit streak going back to last season, and he was hitting line drives all over the place today. So they were fortunate to get him out the last couple of times up. Padres were able to – well, here's the play in the second inning that I wanted to talk about. Bases loaded, 1 out. Sacrifice fly to Brandon Lockridge in center field. Medium depth, makes a good throw. And let me also say that when you make a throw from center field, it's different from right field and left. Because from right field and left field, you don't have to get the ball past and over the mound. But from center field, you not only have to make a good, strong throw, but your ball has to land and bounce past the mound. Otherwise, it won't get to home plate. Really good throw by Lockridge. Problem, Martin Maldonado backed up a step to play the hop. And in doing so, he left home plate wide open for the guy to slide in safely. And then he reached down. He initially got the call.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
The A's were able to challenge it. I'm not going to blame Martin Maldonado. He's an unbelievably good defensive catcher. But I think he just misjudged that bounce just a little bit, got himself out of position. That allowed the A's to get a 1-0 lead. Padres came back, though, and Oscar Gonzalez, what a whirlwind it's been for this guy.
No joke.
Got off the plane yesterday, got to the ballpark, had to walk from the clubhouse into the dugout in about the 3rd inning.
Yeah.
By the 5th inning, he was in the game last night.
With the ball coming right at him.
Yes, and he bounced right past him. That wasn't a good start.
And I saw people like, what's that guy doing out? The guy just got off a plane. Give him a break.
Yeah. But today he got the RBI that tied the game 1-1 on a nice single to center field. So, so far so good on Oscar Gonzalez. I got a few more notes to share with you. Manny made a throw from left field again today.
He did.
Which we just take for granted.
We do.
A ground ball. He gets it on the outfield grass. No problem. Anyway, I'll throw a few more of these at you because the bullpen deserves a little mention, but we're at the top of the hour. Are we doing Chris vs. the Fans today?
We're going to do it at 5:40.
Oh, really?
Yes, executive decision.
It says here that we're going to do Chris versus the Fans at 5:40. Yes. Okay.
Well, phew.
If I could read, I would have known that.
And guess what, guys? You check the sheet.
I'm looking at the sheet. It is in my possession today.
I got a lot of
there's the sheet.
Heat yesterday for that. For
you
no
deserved
reason.
heat.
For no reason at all.
Yeah. You were trying to be my wife, and that's not a good thing to
all
try
right.
to
We'll
be.
come back soon. Happy hour.
On and miss, strike 3. Got him to chase the slider. And the second strikeout of the inning for Jason Adam will bring the 8th to a close.
Yeah, that was the last threat for the Athletics today. Jason Adam, absolutely perfectly located slider against a good hitter. Brent Rooker struck him out to end the 8th with a runner in scoring position. And Padres hang on for a 2-1 win. Padres are first team in Major League Baseball to 10 wins. Padres will remain in first place in the NL West for a couple of more days since tomorrow's an off day. And Padres are now 5-0 in one-run games this year. That's a good start.
That was a very good start.
Again, I don't want to go back to 2023 because it gets everybody in a bad mood. But 2023 was the year that they could not, for the life of them, win a one-run game. Remember that?
Everybody was like watching for it at the end of the season.
And somebody on this show used to keep saying something like, well, don't worry about it because water will find its level. Guess what? Water didn't find its level until the next year.
Yeah.
And in 2024, last year, Padres were one of the best teams, if not the best. I don't remember exactly, Skrabe, in one-run games last year. I don't know if they were the best, but they were awfully good at one-run games last year. And I'm trying to find
I had a stat in let me go back in the doc from 2 days ago because I have a stat there.
All right, go ahead. What you got? They're 5-0 this year. So I mean this is pretty good.
Okay. So this was from Monday.
Okay.
But in 2023 they were 9-23 in one-run games.
That's right. 9-23. Yeah.
2024 they were 22-19 and now they're 5-0.
22-19 last year. You're right. I thought they were better than that last year.
Me too, because
I have a feeling
talked about it.
I have a feeling that got a little closer, like down the stretch in September, because for a long time last year they were way over 500 in one-run games. Anyway, 5-0 so far this year, and Robert Suarez. Let's talk about him for just a second, because again, mentioned it yesterday when this season was getting ready to start. What was everybody really concerned about? We can't trust Robert Suarez.
Oh, no.
After last year, the guy, lights out, all-star season, and everybody's like, well, he had a 19 ERA this spring. We can't trust this guy. Guess what? He's pitched in 6 games. He's got 6 saves. How many hits he's allowed so far this year, Skrabe?
I'm going to say 0.
0 is correct. He is the first Padre pitcher ever to have 6 hitless appearances to start a season.
Wow.
No pitcher, not Trevor, not anybody, has ever gone 6 straight to start the season without allowing a hit.
It's going to be good when Jason Adam takes over that role.
Not bad. There was one last thing that happened in the bottom
moving forward, people.
Yeah, I'm going to go past that. I like Jason Adam too, but they're not going to change anything right now.
I'm poking the bear for no
They're not
reason.
going to change anything. In the 9th inning, Soderstrom led off with a walk against Suarez. And then the next batter, Shea Langeliers.
He sounds very fancy.
Hit a hard ground ball to third base. Manny bobbled it for a half second, got the throw to second. Iglesias turned, got the double play. Don't know if anybody caught this, but Soderstrom was called out for an illegal slide.
No.
And even had the runner been out or safe at first base, they would have called him out.
Really?
Yes. Soderstrom, when he slid in to Iglesias, lifted his right forearm and just nudged the leg of Iglesias as if to try to throw him a little off stride. The umpire called him out and said the runner at first would have been out. Didn't matter. He was out anyway. I don't know if I love this rule. I don't want second basemen to get hurt, but I don't remember any of them getting hurt back in the day.
Oh no, here we go.
When Hal McRae
here we go.
or Chase Utley or one of these guys would do a body roll into the second baseman and carry them out the left field to try to break up a double play. I used to think breaking up a double play was kind of one of the grits and one of the gut plays in baseball. You went in there, you tried to spoil the double play. Now, if you even get a fingernail near the second baseman, they'll ring up the runner at first. Is that better? Or was, maybe look, if you ever look up Hal McRae on Willie Randolph, you'll know what's over the line.
That's definitely over the line.
But should we allow guys to at least have a chance to break up the play at second base with that slide, or should we keep it the way it is, where you can't really even breathe on the guy while he turns the double play?
Okay, let me ask you this.
First of all, I'm not a second baseman because I know what Jake Cronenworth would answer, but I'm asking you as a fan.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
If someone took out Jake Cronenworth's knee and he tears his ACL,
I know.
I think we're going to be pretty angry about it.
Yes, we would.
I like the rules the way they are now because we do need stars to be healthy.
Nobody gets hurt.
We need that.
But I'm just saying I don't remember anybody getting hurt. Willie Randolph. Willie Randolph didn't get hurt.
You can't compare that. It's so much different. They had a different mentality. The mentality was just different. Going into a game for these guys, they're not thinking about, hey, at some point I'm going to have to go and barrel through this second baseman so I could stay out of a double play. Like nowadays, they go to the ballpark, they're not even thinking about that stuff because it's not a part of the game.
You know who I blame for all of it?
Rob Manfred?
No.
Theo Epstein?
Nope.
Buster Posey.
The wimpiest player in baseball,
He's not
Buster
the wimpiest.
Posey.
His leg got broken in half on the field.
Move it out of the way then.
Move your leg out of the way.
I don't know. I can't be the only one that wouldn't mind seeing a nice little slide at second base that breaks up a double play. To me, part of the game of baseball. You're taking so much away. They're taking it all away in football. Pretty soon you're not going to be able to tackle the guy anymore.
Oh, no.
In basketball, you can't commit a foul. And, the poor guy last night got upended and broke his wrist. He was in the hospital. Bad. That was bad, actually. But
that was really bad.
That was really bad. But I'm just saying, and Bill Laimbeer used to basically punch guys when they came into the lane. Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, these guys survived. They were tougher. There's one thing you can't argue, that the guys back in that day were tougher.
I don't know.
Than this day.
I don't know.
Okay.
The reason I don't know is because we don't know how these guys.
We don't know how tough they might be.
Yeah, exactly. And they're much more in shape. We're never going to supplements.
We're never going to find out how tough they are because no one's allowed to touch anybody out there.
I do like there are people that do agree with you about the baseball is soft now narrative.
I think so.
But why do I need to see a guy get taken out for no reason on a routine double play, guys out for the year because someone on June 1st took his knee out or something? I don't understand.
I don't want to see that happen either. Luka Doncic so far has hit 3 threes. He's got 14 points in the first quarter, returning to Dallas with the Lakers. Right now, 26-26. Luka just came out of the game for a rest, but he's off to a pretty good start, Skraby. He's on a 56-point pace, and I have the feeling he would like to score 56. Despite the fact that, as we noted, the Mavericks put together a really nice tribute video to him prior to the game in Dallas, standing ovation, the whole thing, tears were flowing. But we'll keep an eye on that game for you. All right, Padres win, Dodgers win, 6-5. Kike saved the game today for the Dodgers, by the way, with a diving backhanded play at first base with 2 runners on in the ninth inning. Great play by Kike. And the Giants won on the walk-off by Yastrzemski over the Reds. So that's kind of where that went today. Padres will get the Rockies and then the Cubs on this homestand. And get this
he's reaching for it.
Safely. Monday night.
The Hawaiian shirt. Be careful with it. The camera
yours.
cannot figure out the Hawaiian shirt.
Is the camera just having –
what do you mean? If you raise it, it'll go with it. Oh, now it's not doing it.
My camera doesn't do it.
And by the way, you can always watch us on YouTube. Every show on the station, just go to YouTube, search 97.3 The Fan.
Keep in mind, you can get one of these beautiful Padre Hawaiian shirts. I think they're pretty sweet. They come in all sizes, youth large, medium, large, extra large, double XL, and Skraby XL. So you can
did you see Mud try to put on the shirt today?
Mud with a little snug.
It was a lot snug.
On
I
Mud.
think they gave him a child small.
Yeah,
it was so small.
A little snug on Mud today.
I do like the Hawaiian shirt.
They're nice.
My goal is to fit into one of those one day.
All right. Well, you did the SD fat loss, so you're on your way. You lost a lot of weight. You'll be there before you know it. But that's coming up. 3 games with the Rockies, and then 3 with the Cubs. Jackson Merrill will not play in the series. He'll be on the injured list, so there's no way he can play, even if he was somehow ready.
Yeah.
If you missed it, Mike Schilt with an update on Fernando and Jake, who both sat out the game today. And if you saw the game last night, you know why they sat out. Fernando hurt his shoulder. He also winced on a swing. So it was the swing and a slide. He had both things that kind of seemed to contribute to this.
I believe the slide came first.
Yeah, don't recall which was first, but whatever had happened, that's what contributed. And Jake just trying to take a swing with that. The ribs still hurting from that hit by pitch over the weekend in Chicago.
The way he looked, I for a second thought he tore his Achilles because he kind of like crumbled a little bit. And it does not look like that feels very good.
Well, as we said earlier, if you have bruised ribs and you were hit with a baseball, at 100 miles an hour in the ribs, you basically can't breathe for the next week.
It's going to leave a mark.
That'll leave a mark. All right. We got to take a break. When we come back, what are we going? Masters? What you got? You got anything exciting you want to get to?
We have so much that we could get to. Let's talk about it in the break instead of saying something and then decide that we don't want to talk about that anymore.
We'll also honor...
I reserve the right, Chris.
Okay, thank you, Mike Schilt. We will we will not only bring it back, but we will also honor the great swimming pool company, GL Pools, who sponsor our happy hour when Gwynn and Chris resumes after traffic. 2-1. They take the series 2-1, and they head home. Tomorrow's an off day. Don't forget, programming note, tomorrow, 10 a.m., it's the Padre Roundtable, second one of the year. Ben Higgins will host. Stephen Woods, Braden Surprenant, Chris Ello, Matt Skraby, and one Anthony Gwynn Jr.
Pickles.
Yeah, that guy. We'll all be on the round table talking Padre baseball tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
Give me some meat.
Thank you.
There's going to have some meat because there's going to be some round table pizza.
Oh, yeah. Lots of food for us.
Oh, man.
Lots of food for us.
Oh, man. We
Not
got
so
into
much-
a conversation before the show with our sales guy.
I know. Rick is a good sales guy who's trying to protect the pizza just for us.
He is, and I appreciate
apparently
it.
there are people who work in the building here that have been sneaking in to grab a lot of that round table pizza. So
Yes.
we'll see. But we'll be on the air, the round table from 10 to 11. It is commercial free, all Padre talk tomorrow morning. And if you miss it, you have a meeting somewhere at work or, you're running around, can't hear it, we play it again tomorrow afternoon, commercial free between 5 and 6 p.m. So 2 chances to hear the round table tomorrow. Dallas 40, Lakers 34. Early second quarter, Luka Doncic return to Dallas. Luka had 14 points in the first quarter, hit 3 threes. He's been resting ever since. Anthony Davis. Don't forget that he went to Dallas in the trade. You know what I mean? People kind of forget that.
did.
Yeah. He's showing up big tonight, Skrabe, with 2 points.
Oh,
so far. But it doesn't matter.
Poor guy's under so much pressure, and he
Dallas-
didn't even ask to be traded.
Dallas is leading, Dallas is leading by 4 now, 40-36. Padres are 10-3. Dodgers are now 10-4. They rallied to beat the Nats today, 6-5. Giants are 9-3. So all three teams are within a half game. But the Padres are on top. Giants also rallied today, beat the Reds in 10 innings. Quick note on the Dodgers. Blake Snell goes to the injured list, right? And that has really kind of thrown everything into a bit of a flux for the Dodgers. Now, they brought up a right-hander yesterday, Justin Robleski.
Oh, yeah.
Who apparently had a pretty good spring, et cetera. He was the first guy up to replace the injured Snell. He got racked pretty bad last night by the Nationals.
I like that.
They whacked him all over the place. So he's back in AAA. And Landon Knack was called up today.
He's their other big guy.
And he coughed up 3 in the first inning. I know that today. Was not around to get the decision. So the Dodgers are kind of, I don't want to say they're in a state of disarray, but you look, they got Tony Gonsolin. They got Clayton Kershaw. They now have Blake Snell. There must be, they have some guy named Shohei Ohtani. All of these pitchers.
Tyler Glasnow?
No, Glasnow's pitching.
Oh,
I'm talking about guys
okay.
I'm talking about guys that aren't pitching.
Yeah, these guys are waiting in the wings.
You've almost got 3 Hall of Fame pitchers sitting there on the sidelines right now. Ohtani, Kershaw, Snell might be a little early for the Hall of Fame, but he does have 2 Cy Youngs. And, it's interesting. And now Ohtani, don't be looking for him to pitch anytime, even remotely soon. He told reporters yesterday that all he's doing in the bullpen is throwing fastballs now, not even trying anything at the breaking ball variety. That, of course, got all of the writers to quickly go visit Dave Roberts, the manager of the Dodgers.
I'm sure he sees the contingent coming towards him. Like,
yes,
great.
Here we go.
I got to explain Shohei.
Oh, my God. Shohei just said he's only throwing fastballs. What's going on, Dave? Dave said, as you might imagine, any good manager, Dave said, quote, I think he's actually in a good place.
Oh, good job.
Of course, he says it very positively. However, he also then goes on to say that the whole goal for Shohei Ohtani to pitch again is for him to be, quote, firing on all cylinders toward the end of the season through October. That lets me believe
they're saving him.
Shohei Ohtani is not going to pitch until maybe August or September at the earliest. I don't think the Dodgers are going to even risk it with him.
They shouldn't.
Well, I don't really see any reason why they would rush him. But the fact is Kershaw's not there yet. Gonsolin's not there yet. Snell's hurt right now. And the Dodgers are pitching, guys that are not automatic, which is what they had the first 8 games of the
guys.
Right. The first 8 games of the season, it was just like, sweeping everybody up.
Yamamoto, you got Roki.
Yes, but now, Roki has still been a question mark.
He had a better outing on
Saturday. In
his
third outing, but
his Dragon Fork, remember?
First 2 weren't very good. Dodgers have gone 2. They went 2-4 on their road trip to Philadelphia and Washington. Padres went 3-3 on theirs. So you can look at it from that perspective and, be happy about what the Padres were able to accomplish on this trip. Again, they lost the first 2. So to get 3-3 and win today without half your team, pretty good. I'll take it.
I want to go back to Shohei for a second. Do we even really, this is his second Tommy John surgery. Do we even really know
if he's going to pitch?
If he's going to be the same guy that won did he win a Cy Young? I don't think he did.
No, he hasn't won a Cy Young.
But he's been
He's
good.
one of the best pitchers in baseball. He started the All-Star game as a pitcher a few years ago. Remember, he faced Fernando to lead off the game. I do
remember that, yeah.
Here's the thing. Ohtani is going to get a crack at pitching again. And almost everybody that does a Tommy John or 2 seems to come back stronger. There's something weird about that procedure that doesn't limit guys when they return. Most guys return and their arm is not just the same. It's even a little better. So I don't think there's anything to suggest yet that he won't be able to, still get the job done. But it's going to be a while more before they're ready to really test that arm and, get him out there. He's not throwing any curveballs at all yet.
I was reading about Spencer Strider and his recovery from everything. And there's a new surgery for Tommy John where it's like, it's not the original one that they had been doing for years. Cause I guess, Aaron Rodgers got like some sort of internal brace on his Achilles. And I think it's somewhat similar. And Joe Musgrove actually threw for the first time since Tommy John surgery yesterday.
Yeah, but he's not throwing breaking balls.
No, God,
Right.
no. He's just playing,
Just making some soft.
He's just
toss.
playing catch.
Happy Hour is brought to you by our friends, GL Pools. They are the swimming pool experts, and they are trusted by thousands of San Diegans. They've been doing it for 20 years, since 2006. All right. Baseball's back, so is swim season. So call now, GL Pools. And when you call, mention the word radio. That's it. Say, hi, how are you? I'm calling GL Pools. It's me and the family. Just want to say radio before we start the conversation.
And then this goes off in the office.
Don't know about that, but
I don't know either.
But you who said radio, get yourself a free month of pool service with GL Pools.
It was warm today. It was
beautiful
almost
day.
a pool type day.
Been absolutely beautiful the last couple of days in San Diego. Although I was talking to somebody around here, it was you, who said that, with taxes being what they are in San Diego, you might be considering a move to Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
We were talking before the show.
And I'm like, well, go ahead.
And
It's a free country. If you really want to live there with the lower taxes, please feel free.
Well, I mean,
otherwise, stop complaining.
I just finalized. Yes, I'm a little late, but I just finalized my taxes today.
Yeah.
And I was notified. I usually get refunds. Obviously, I'm not going to tell anyone how much I owe, but I do owe.
You owe too
that
much. Yeah.
is not fun.
You owe enough to be thinking about moving to Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
Yeah. So I told Chris I was going to move to Sheboygan because we should get some sort of discount on our taxes. Anyway, this is
We're
a
never
whole
gonna get a
conversation that I don't understand.
Yeah, we're never going to get a discount in San Diego on the taxes because of days like
There's
this.
no more. I can't even begin to tell you, Chris, how depressing it is to owe money to the government.
Well, you were taking money from the government all year long. You were taking more than your share. And now,
is that right?
And now you're paying your share back. Yes.
Someone said have more kids. I
Get
need
a
to have
tax
one
break there.
kid. You get tax breaks. Also, I guess if you're married, you get tax breaks.
I don't know. I've been married. I've never seen anything that adds up to too much
Because
of a
Lori
tax
puts the
break.
refund into her account.
Here's the bottom line, though, Skraby. We all have to pay taxes. It's part of the world. So just do your part. And if you're,
all I
and
was
if
saying
you're,
is
if you're
depressing.
paying, if you're paying too much in April, then take some more out during the year, so that when April comes around, you don't get in this situation. Don't you have tax people to help you with this?
I don't throughout the year. I have someone that does it at the end of the year because I had a side business in 2024.
Tell somebody. Well, then you should have set aside money
I
you got
did,
from that
Chris.
side, but not enough.
I
apparently.
also did deductions on my paycheck here.
Basically, what was happening during the year 2024 is that you were taking advantage of the system by keeping more money than you should have. That's it.
What
Simple.
about
That's
them?
why you're paying your taxes now.
What about the $5 gas that I'm paying?
It's the old move to Sheboygan. It's $2.20.
When we were in Arizona, that $2.85 looked amazing.
Move to Arizona.
$2.85. You know what? I might. Will you guys let me do a remote into the show from Arizona?
Yeah.
Will the boss let us do that?
Look, you can do the show from anywhere as long as it's not here. I'd be very happy about that.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. But then someone's going to have to run the board. It will never happen. It's just very, very, very depressing today.
All right. Yeah. Well, it's coming up on April 15th.
At least the Padres won.
April 15th, a lot of people get depressed, but the reason you do is because you weren't paying enough money during the year.
If anybody wants to know what my side business is or wants to give me business, hit me up.
Do you also, yeah, right. Do you know that if you take too much money out during the year, on April 15th, you would actually get money from the government?
I know.
There is a way to do that if that's what you prefer.
Isn't it called a refund?
Yeah, well, you get money back because you gave too much to the system during the year.
I love those days.
Well, try that then next year, and then on April 15th, you'll be celebrating.
I tried. I got tax advice last year, and anyway.
All right, I'm hooking you up with a real tax person. I don't know who you're talking
Dominic
to.
said
they're not helping you very much.
Dominic said if I moved to Sheboygan or Arizona, who would print out Chris's sheets that he never looks at?
I'm looking at it, Dominic. It's right here. I'm looking at the sheet right now.
He is. He even read the GL Pools read off the sheet. But who grabbed the sheet today?
You did. Thank you very much.
All
right. Break time. We're a little late for break time. When we come back,
yes, we are.
Chris versus the fans, special 5:30 edition. If you've never played Chris versus the fans, simple. You call in 833-288-0973. You get a chance to answer a couple trivia questions. You get them right, or I get them wrong. You could find yourself on the way to Las Vegas. It's next.
Ben and Woods.
That should be the Skraby Chronicle. Padres over the Athletics today, 2-1. RBIs today. Oscar Gonzalez, his first as a Padre, with a single that bounced in front of the diving center fielder, J.J. Bleday. The other run that came in today, and I didn't talk about it in the notes on the scorecard, was on a sacrifice fly by Gavin Sheets. That would not have happened had Xander Bogaerts on the previous fly ball not tagged up and moved from second to third.
True.
And, you and I talk about, you ask me all the time, what's smart base running, what's not smart base running? Do you get mad when they're out? Type of thing. When you're on second base with nobody out and somebody hits a short fly ball, which happened there, that is when you have to go for it. Because the advantages of getting to third with one out are so big that it's worth risking a perfect throw that could get you out.
Good point.
And I will tell you, Xander Bogaerts on a perfect throw from the right fielder there, Butler, may have been out. It was just the throw was wide of the base, and Xander slid in. This is what the Padres have been doing this year and doing it well. They're making other teams make a perfect play. Now, because of that, they've had a couple guys thrown out for sure. But today, it helped them win a game. Because if he doesn't tag from second to third, then Gavin Sheets' fly ball is harmless.
Yeah.
So, good play by Xander. But more than anything, just, to me, it's kind of the way this team operates that has been helping it win and helping it win, these one-run games. They're 5-0 in one-run games.
Do you think it's a Xander decision to do that, or is it a coaching decision to
that's Xander. He's been around long enough to know
he's got instincts.
That he has any chance to get to third, he's going to go for it. But it's also, I think, put into, every base runner's head by Mike Schilt and this staff that when there's a chance,
take it.
Yep. And that was a good, unless it's stupid. And what I mean by that is you're down 9-1, you hit a single, and you try to stretch it into a double. That's dumb. But in this case, perfect timing to take a risk, and it paid off in the 2-1 victory ultimately. All right, here's what's coming up. Chris versus the fans, and you're going to get a chance. Do I have the right stuff, Skraby, for a change?
Today, yeah.
Right.
For a change?
Well, it's the last couple of days. It's been a little off.
It's been off.
You'll be qualified for a grand prize if you win today. That's 2 tickets to one of 3 bands. You can see either Disturbed, you can see Ghost, or you can see Pantera, which I believe was your choice.
Yes.
They're all playing in Las Vegas. You'll also get a 2-night stay at the MGM Grand.
Wow.
Big doings there. They don't even let guys like me in the door there.
The security comes and gets you.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, photos on the wall. They're like, get him out of here. MGM Grand in Las Vegas. You'll also get a $150 gift card. Tickets for all 3 shows are now available at Ticketmaster.com or get qualified right now.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting.
Did we do traffic yet?
No.
Oh, well, then go.
I don't know why I didn't. Keep going.
Yeah, keep going, and then we'll get into Chris versus the fans.
Chris, I think my brain left my head earlier this week because I don't have one anymore.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Could it be that they finally cleared that crash northbound 5 before Carmel Valley Road? Yeah, looks like it's out of there. But now we're just seeing quite a bit of residual slowing. And southbound 5 before Cassidy Street got a collision involving a couple vehicles. That's over to the right shoulder. Also an accident blocking the 2 left lanes. Eastbound 78 right before El Camino Real. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
That, for those of you who don't know, is not the open to Chris versus the fans.
I don't know what's happening.
Skraby
this
is
week. This has been
beside himself. I mean,
this has been maybe the worst week I've had.
No, it hasn't.
In show history.
You've been this bad many times before.
No, not this bad. This is real bad.
There we go.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
Howdy do.
now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the Fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, the rules. You have to make it through 3 questions. Each question is going to get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get it wrong and Chris gets it right, you move on to the next question or you win if you're a first-time player. That was a good one. Let us know before you get into the first question, and you will get that question for free. You'll start on number 2 is what I'm saying.
All right.
All right, let's get to our first contestant. Let's go to Marshall. Hello, Marshall.
How's it going, guys?
Hey, very well. For me, it's going very well. For Skraby, it's a bit of a battle.
Yeah.
I wish Tony was here because I'm a first-time player.
First-time player.
We'll tell Tony that you were on, and then he'll
Tony
celebrate
Tony
tomorrow.
would be like, player.
He'd be, no, he goes crazy. He goes crazy.
All
Good
right.
luck, Marshall. You're already on the second question.
That's right. Here we go.
All right.
Okay, this is not my fault. It's labeled Chris versus the Fans bed.
Just ask the question, Skraby. Marshall doesn't care about all of the bells and whistles.
I can't today.
He just wants to get a question.
All right, Marshall. Who broke up at least 81 no-hitters with a home run?
Ooh.
It's a riddle inside of a question.
It is a riddle inside of a question, Marshall. There's one player that 81 times broke up a no-hitter. We know this for a fact.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, he might have done it more, but we know he did it at least 81
Yes,
times.
yes. I think Chris knows who this is.
I do, but I'm hoping Marshall comes up with it to stay alive.
Ty Cobb?
Ty
Oh.
Cobb, he was thinking in the right direction, but he just didn't get the right guy.
Should I give him another question?
Give him another chance. Because
All
one
right,
more
give
chance.
him-
Give you one more
I'm
guess.
actually going to give you a hint, too.
No hints. No hints, but you're in the right direction, Marshall. Try one more guess.
The only other prolific hitter I can think of for Ted Williams.
Ted Williams. Okay, so you weren't on the track. No, the reason this is a riddle because it had to be a leadoff hitter
Yeah.
who breaks up the no-hitter. There's got to be no hits when he comes up. And Ricky Henderson hit 81 leadoff home runs, which means he immediately broke up a no-hitter.
Marshall, I'm going to give you – that was an unfair question, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give him a first-time player card for the next time. that he
Oh,
calls.
okay. How do you like that, Marshall? Next time you call, be a first-time player again.
Just say, hey, Skraby, remember that day you were terrible on the board and you got the questions wrong? Well, you gave me another free player card. So
All right, so you'll get
I'm
a
here
first.
thinking that it was somebody before, like hits were or no hitters were really.
it is
That's a tough question.
that was a
but
diabolical question on my part.
little diabolical. You'll be a first-time player next time. Thanks for playing, Marshall. Please play again.
Yes.
On we go.
Let's go to our next contestant, Ryan. Hello, Ryan.
Hello, Ryan.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Not too much.
Hanging in there.
Here we go. Question number 1.
Mhm.
What number does Xander Bogaerts wear?
Oh boy. Oh man. 2?
2.
X gonna give it to you. That's it.
X gonna give it to you. Is
I
that
love
a,
it.
Is
That's
that
a DMX song,
Okay.
and it's his walk-up song, I believe.
X
All
gonna
right,
give
nice
it.
job, Ryan. Here we go to question number 2.
Good job, Ryan.
What team has Max Scherzer played for longest in his career?
Oh God, he's
He's
played for like
a
15
ton.
teams.
But which team has he played for longest?
That's a tough one, right
I'm gonna say Tigers.
there. He goes with the Tigers.
Los
here.
Tigres. Stay there.
Nationals.
He has been on.
I said Nationals.
Oh.
I don't know. Oh, sorry about that.
Sorry, Ryan.
Sorry, Ryan. That was one. You know what I would tell future players?
Yeah.
That was one where you might have been better off not guessing.
Oh, because you gave it to him?
Well,
Or
he didn't
gave
give
it
it.
to
He
you?
didn't give it to me, but I was in between Nationals and Tigers. So
Okay.
when he said Tigers and it was wrong, that left
I
me
don't
with
even
Nationals.
remember him with the Tigers, but I think that was actually my
He was there
Dark-
for a while.
my dark years.
We
so.
could look. Yeah, we could look it all up, but I'm not.
It's
really
fine.
into that.
Let's go to our next contestant. On my screener, it says Adam. Hello, Adam.
Hey guys, what's up?
Not too much. You ready to play?
Yes, sir. I'm a first-time player.
First time player.
Very
Here we go.
good.
Question
5
number two.
years. 5 years in Detroit. Max Scherzer,
Uh-huh.
and 7 in Washington.
Yes.
All right, off you go.
What is the highest finish Dylan Cease has ever had in Cy Young voting?
This is the first question.
Second question.
Second question. Boy, that's boy.
Well, he won. Oh no. Second.
I was gonna say he finished second. Did he?
He sure
He did. Very good.
I gotta say, Chris was on this year because he was like, "I like this Dylan Cease guy."
That was the year I predicted him to be like a breakout star, and you guys
And he
hadn't
was.
heard of him. It was one
He
of the few
was.
I've ever got right.
It
But
was.
he finished second. He's also finished fourth when he was with the Padres last year,
Yes,
which is
last
why
year.
I don't know why you're saying he's inconsistent. It's pretty good fourth.
Okay.
Off you
Did
go.
you see him in the playoffs?
I did.
I don't know why I said that. I like Dylan Cease.
That was pretty
I
cold,
don't. I
Skraby.
don't really want to take shots at him because I
Cold.
do like him. I think
Next
he's a cool
time I
guy.
see him, I'm going to mention it,
He's gonna be like, "Who?"
and I'm also going to tell him to shave his beard.
Okay, here we go. Final question for Adam.
For the win, Adam.
This is one of my finest questions, I think.
Ever.
Yeah.
I thought the Ricky Henderson one was good because there was a riddle involved. That was very
yes.
impressive question.
Here it is, Adam.
Here's this one.
3 Padres relievers have not given up an earned run so far this season. Name all 3.
Okay. 3 guys have not given up an earned
Relievers.
run. Yeah, relievers.
Golly.
This year. It's early in the season.
You can also pass to Chris if you don't want to give him any ideas. But if you have a guess, you should take your guess.
take your guess. If you got a guess, I would take it.
I would say Robert Suarez.
That's
Okay.
one.
Let's see. Morejon.
Morejon. That's 2. One more
Yeah.
guess.
And man.
Eighth inning guy.
Estrada.
Estrada.
All right. Stay there just in case Chris doesn't know this.
I may not.
Really?
Yeah, I know it's Suarez because he hasn't even given up a hit yet. I know it's Jason Adam because he never gives up a run. The third guy that hasn't given up a run yet could be, I think Estrada gave up a home run just the other night. And I think Morejon gave up a run over the weekend at some point. Matsui gave up one last night. So the only guy left is Peralta, Wandy Peralta.
Wandy Peralta.
Yeah, Wandy Peralta is my guess, number 3.
Sorry, Adam.
Close.
That was close.
That's funny that Adam didn't know Jason Adam.
That is kind of funny.
Sorry about that, Adam.
All right, we're gonna go tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker.
Let's go with Wandy Peralta.
All right, let's go.
I don't know much about his career, to be honest. I know he played for the Yankees.
You know his nickname?
Wandy?
Wonderful.
Oh.
No, I don't think that is.
Oh, I was like, what? You knew that?
I think it should be. If it's not,
okay. Wandy Peralta.
nickname
There
is
it is.
La Grasa.
He
Don't know
played
what
for
that
the
means.
He played for the Giants?
Wandy.
Weird. Okay, here
All
we
right,
go. Let's
what do
get
you
to our
got from
contestant.
Wandy? What do you got? Oh, we got to get a contestant.
Yeah, let's go to Daniel. Hello, Daniel.
Daniel, you're the tiebreaker
Hello.
contestant today.
All right.
Make sure he knows
stay
how
right
to
there. Yes.
use the tiebreaker because there could be some first-time listeners to Chris versus the fans.
So here's
today.
how the tiebreaker works. I'm going to ask Chris for a number off of Wandy Peralta's career. Chris is going to guess whatever the answer is, and then Daniel is going to try and guess if the actual number is higher or lower than what Chris said.
All right.
All right, here we go, Daniel.
What do we got for
Chris,
Wonderful Peralta?
How many saves has he had in his career?
How many years has Wandy Peralta been
10.
toiling in the big leagues?
10. Toiling for 10.
Toiling. He's not ever been a closer, I don't think. So I'm going to say 3, 2 or 3 a year, 25 in between. 25 saves in his career.
Daniel, is the actual answer higher or lower?
Lower.
Lower.
You said 25, right?
I did. He got it.
Nice job, Daniel.
You win, and there's usually a round of applause that goes with that. There it is.
He had
a late arriving round of applause, but you got it in.
I have to triple check what I'm clicking right now, Chris, because I'm clicking every wrong button. He had 13 saves in his career.
That's all, huh?
Yeah.
All right. He's been pitching in middle relief most of the time.
He got 8 with the Yankees or 11 with the Yankees. So
I don't know.
of
Has he
them
had
come
one
from
with the
there.
Padres? Not this year, but
no.
Has not. Did not have one last year.
Not even no.
Okay, Daniel, good for you. Stay on the line. You will qualify for the trip to Las Vegas. We'll play Chris vs. the Fans again tomorrow. We have a full show tomorrow, regular 2 to 6 time slot.
Yes.
By the way, since we have a moment for the top of the hour.
What you got?
Well, I've got Luka Doncic going out of his mind.
He is.
He's going absolutely out of his mind. Now, tonight is the game that the Lakers are back in Dallas.
Oh, Tony's on a plane right now, too.
Oh, you don't leave him a message because he's going to want to see this, without knowing what happened. Luka Doncic, with the Lakers leading 60-57 at halftime, Doncic has 31 points already. He's 6 of 8 on threes. He's just.
He can hit
balling.
threes with 6 of 8.
6 of 8. He's got 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and 31 big ones at the half. And we're kind of watching the game out of the corner of our eye here. They're just going to him. It's not like, they're going to try to win the game. They got to win the game. It's an important game for the Lakers. But you can tell that they're all kind of just getting out of his way right now.
Everyone is just feeding him and he's making everything.
That's what I mean. He's making everything. LeBron only has 8 points so far. But Doncic has 31 of the 60. Now, before we completely torture the Mavericks like they're doing on the telecast, by the way.
They keep showing the general manager.
They keep showing the Mavericks general manager, Nico Harrison. The only thing they're not doing when they show him is putting a sign up that says, "I'm with stupid." You know what I mean?
I think they're afraid someone's going to harm him.
They keep showing this guy to drive home the point that he shouldn't have traded Luka.
I don't know.
It seems really unfair, honestly, to me.
He was on the screen for a good 5 minutes straight.
Just every time Luka makes a basket, they keep showing the guy. And look, he made a trade. It's been wildly unpopular in Dallas. The whole thing, we know the story. But Anthony Davis went to the Mavericks. And if they were to get the Anthony Davis and had Kyrie stayed healthy, you cannot guarantee me that Dallas wouldn't have been able to do something this year. But Davis got hurt immediately. Kyrie's out for the season. So, yes, predictably, Dallas is bad now. But Nico Harrison continues to be the butt of all jokes in Dallas. And Luka's not helping making it any easier for him tonight with 31 on the board at halftime.
Like, come on, Luka, you couldn't score 20.
Doncic,
31.
Doncic has a 70-point game in his career.
I did know that. I didn't remember it until you said it.
I'm pretty sure he did it against the Hawks, which was the team that drafted him and then traded him to Dallas.
So he likes revenge games.
He kind of remembered that. Yes. All right. Final hour of our show includes a Big Five and also our Masters golf draft.
Yes.
All of it's
Excited
still
about
ahead.
that.
Stick around. It has to do with average temperatures in the year 2024. And this is the average temperature, hot, maximum per day, minimum per day. It is going to be your job today to find the 25 states whose average temperature is under 55 degrees. California's at 60. You're looking for anything under 55. I'm not going to let you go first. I'm going to give Tony first.
Let's start with Montana.
That is correct.
Montana.
Montana is the fourth coldest state in the U.S., 44.5 degrees average temperature. All right, Skraby, that leaves a really obvious one for you. I gave Tony first, but he didn't take it. So you can.
I don't know that these are that obvious to any of us.
All right,
Chris.
Well, I think one is obvious.
Alaska,
I think. I thought Alaska was pretty obvious. 27.8 degrees average temperature in Alaska. 16 degrees colder than any other state. Tony's up.
Washington, the state.
State of Washington is on the list at 48.4. So Tony takes a 2-1 lead. Skraby, give me a cold state.
Maine.
Tony, you're up 2-2.
How about Idaho?
Idaho's pretty cold. Cold enough at 45.5, seventh coldest in the U.S.
Well, it's my favorite state to say. Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, that was kind of obvious. Same as Idaho. Minnesota, 45.5, Tony.
How about North Dakota?
North Dakota, there
North
you
Dakota.
go. You found it, number 2, 43.7 there.
I'll take the lesser known Dakota. The
South Dakota.
I think it's the more known Dakota.
Yeah, I would think it's more. Tony, you are up in a 4-4 tie with no strikes yet.
How about Oregon?
Oregon, believe it or not, Oregon's cold enough to make the list. Tony's 5, Skraby's 4.
Never been here, but I knew someone from here and said it's very cold. New Hampshire.
New Hampshire's cold. Tony.
How about Vermont?
Vermont's cold, and it's right next to New Hampshire, so that was good. 46.3. Tony goes up 6-5.
How about Wisconsin?
Wisconsin. I'm pretty sure that's going to be in there. Just below. Tony, you're up.
We're going to move to Wisconsin's neighbor. How about a little Illinois?
Oh.
How about a little Illinois? Little Illinois didn't make it. You can get your first lead of the day here.
A state that I've been to, a state that has beautiful scenery, Wyoming.
That's number 3. Wyoming, 44.3. I can definitely second that.
Laramie is like the
notion, having been there every year to Laramie. It's cold.
Now,
Tony.
Iowa.
That's a great one.
Is it?
Has to be on there.
51.5. Iowa just snuck in there.
I'm going to bank on the part of the state that's not attached to the paw is cold. Michigan.
Michigan is a winner. Very good. The Upper Peninsula you're referring to.
The paw.
How about Utah?
Utah, Salt Lake City and company. Yep,
Park
it's
City.
cold there. 51.2. That is correct. Tony hits it. 8-8. The only difference is Tony's got a strike.
Nueva York.
Nueva York.
New York for Chris.
It does get cold there in New York. 49 degrees average temperature in New York is Tony.
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
What about Ohio?
You ready to come up with an answer, Skraby?
Ohio.
Too hot.
I
Too
know.
hot.
I was thinking that because it's next to Illinois, but I live
Too
there
hot.
and it snowed.
Is that what you want, Ohio?
Yeah.
54.9. It's the last one on there. Skraby goes up 10-9.
How about a little Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Frigid old Pennsylvania.
Frigid old Pennsylvania.
Home of Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Harrisburg. And cold enough at 52.1 to make the list.
Pennsylvania, baby.
10-10.
Massachusetts?
It has not been said. Doesn't mean it's correct, but it is. 51.2. Skraby hits a bell.
Massachusetts.
11-10. Tony, you're up.
Oh, man, this is hard.
There are 4 left.
Cold. How about Indiana?
Oh.
Indiana. No, Tony. It's a strike. 55.2. Indiana just over by 0.2.
Some of the coldest spots in the country are in the plains. Nebraska.
Yeah.
Lincoln. That's all I got on Nebraska.
Skraby's doing okay. That's correct.
Wow!
52 degrees.
Colorado.
Skraby for the win.
One of the most forgotten places in the United States
Is
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. And it is correct.
Yes! Sorry, that was a lot. Does that mean I win?
Game is over. Yes,
Game
you've
is
won.
over!
That was a stupid game.
I didn't think you'd like it since it didn't win it.
Those are my shoes on the glass.
Sound like you're playing basketball over there.
And welcome into the Skraby Show featuring Chris Ello for tonight on 97.3 The Fan. April 9th, 2025, Chris.
4-year anniversary of Joe Musgrove's no-hitter
Oh, yes.
for the Padres.
That's, I remember you were on postgame then.
I was home because it was still recovering from COVID or during
Tony and
COVID.
Jesse were at Petco Park while
Right.
they were in
And
Globe Life.
They were at Petco Park calling the game. I was home in my office at home upstairs doing the post-game show. And Joe Musgrove called in.
He did.
And all of a sudden had an interview coming with Joe Musgrove. And it was quite exciting. I mean, this is something the whole organization had waited for 52 years. Took 52 years to get a no-hitter. And so it was quite the night. And to have it, be Joe was special.
It definitely was.
So
I remember.
I was quite honored to be in that position to do that interview.
I don't remember where I saw Joe talking about this, but I saw him talking about the no-hitter, and he was saying that he did not expect to throw that many pitches that early in the season.
Right. It was April 9th. It was like a week or so into the season.
Obviously, because he had a no-hitter. But
couldn't take him out.
No, you couldn't take him out. And I bet you, because the next couple starts weren't the greatest starts, but I bet you that kind of, I mean, once he did the no-hitter thing, he was doing interviews everywhere. It's just, sometimes you do these big events in sports, and it actually becomes a ton of work for that person when it happens.
Couple of fine, how much does everybody remember about Joe Musgrove's no-hitter? Couple of quick questions from it.
Okay.
Only one batter reached base in the entire game, and that batter was hit by a pitch. I don't believe Musgrove walked anybody in that game.
Was it Odor?
He didn't. He had 10 strikeouts, one hit batter, and that hit batter, I believe, was Joey Gallo. I'm looking it up right now.
He's getting on base. So
yes, Joey Gallo got hit by a pitch. That was the only base runner. Secondly, who made the last out for the Texas Rangers?
Oh, I know who caught the ball, but I don't know who made
the guy still plays in the big leagues, but he's 2 teams removed from the Rangers.
What team is he on now?
He's now a Pirate. He stopped at the Yankees in between.
It's not Tommy Pham.
Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Grounded out.
IKF.
Yes. He grounded out to who?
Hassan Kim
who threw to
Jurickson Profar.
Jurickson Profar at first base that night. Correct. Very good. You got most of them.
No, I definitely remember that because that was a Friday night. And
it was not a Friday night.
Yes, it was.
Was it?
Yes, because I did the post game the next day, or the pre and post game.
It was Friday night. Yeah. What was I doing home on a Friday night? I should have been out.
Well, you were doing
something.
the pregame or the pre and post game, which is where you had to be.
I thought I should have been out doing something.
I went and hit some golf balls. There's a driving range near the Delmar racetrack. Have you ever seen that driving range before? It's right off the freeway, and they have lights. And so I went there. I started hitting some golf balls. It was already well into the game. Joe started getting into like 7-inning territory where he had no hits, so I couldn't leave. Chris, I stayed at the golf course or the driving range,
right?
Because I felt like if I left and the no hitter got broken up, it would be my fault.
Who caught the no hitter for Joe Musgrove?
Victor Caratini.
Pretty good.
I've seen that picture 100 times over there.
Yeah, 2 guys had 2 hits in the game for the Padres. Name them.
2 guys had 2 hits for the Padres in that game.
They're 2 very beloved former Padres.
Jurickson Profar and Hassan Kim.
No, Will Myers and Trent Grisham.
Oh man,
I tricked you on that one.
Trent Grisham actually got picked up in my fantasy baseball league.
He's hit a couple of home runs this year. He's doing okay for the.
It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing how Trent Grisham has just survived on the Yankees.
He can play center field.
Yes, he can.
As long as you can play, defense,
you're fine.
You can keep your job.
This hour 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Frozen Ropes San Diego. Hey, parents, here's a message from Coach Kurt with Frozen Ropes. Is your child 6 to 12 years old? Our Baseball Summer League is the perfect fit for your player. Starting June 16th through August 17th, Summer League includes 8 practices and 8 games. Register by April 30th and save $50. Go to SanDiegoFrozenRopes.com. Now, Padres win today. 2-1 over the A's. They take the series. They've only lost 1 series on the season so far out of the 4, and they have 10 wins. They were the first team to actually reach 10 wins in Major League Baseball.
Dodgers
did
joined
it like
them
2 hours later.
Right.
But still, they're 10-3. I'm going to start with Xander Bogaerts because I feel like he gets so much hate from fans out there, and I understand to a certain extent why, because he gets paid big money. And he's not producing to big money.
Here's the funny thing. I don't know that the fans dislike him as much as I'm not saying you dislike him.
I don't.
Well,
I like Xander Bogaerts.
In general, you don't like people that make a lot of money that don't live up to that. That bothers you a great deal.
It does.
All right. So I think you're projecting some of your own
possibly
hatred onto the fans of the Padres.
Here's the deal with Xander's contract and me.
You think if somebody gets a big contract, they better be super great. And if they're not, you're upset. You don't like it. You're ticked.
And when they're in town, though, when we have to talk about them, I just have to take it for what it is. I can't be worried about a contract. Does it bother me? Absolutely, it bothers me. But I can't say that he's been absolutely 100% awful. He's not Ben Simmons out there. He's at least trying. He did some good things last year. I know it's kind of crazy for me to say a $20-something million man is at least trying.
Xander, that's pretty good, man. You came in just ahead of Ben Simmons on the radar. Is he ahead of Zion Williamson?
Oh, he's totally ahead of Zion Williamson because he's not missing games because he's too heavy. Okay, he's not eating pizza. But Xander Bogaerts went 3 for 5 today, and he's now hit. Chris, he's played. How many games has he played? I just had
this year.
Yeah,
They've played 13.
Has he
games.
played every game? Yeah.
So
he's hitting He's hitting 11 of those 13.
Right,
games.
11 of the 13. He's got a 9-game hit streak currently.
Sitting 304 right now. So Xander Bogaerts doing some stuff. Randy Vasquez. We got into a conversation about Randy Vasquez to start the show because Randy Vasquez, he only gave up 1 run in today's start, which
only gave up 1 hit.
1 hit
today.
Although he did walk 3,
right,
and he got himself in a little bit of trouble in the 5th inning.
He got in trouble early in the game in the 2nd inning. He got bailed out in the 5th inning.
Thank you for bailing me out.
Good double play made by Iglesias. But
here's the biggest problem.
Your
with
thing
Randy
is
Vasquez.
you didn't like him taken out after 61 pitches today. You were upset by it.
Well, I was just about to go to that. Here's the biggest thing. We're gonna move past that, Chris, because the team won. I can't dwell on things like that.
Okay.
The problem is that he is throwing like 50% strikes right now, and it's not even close. His first start of the year, he threw 92 pitches, only 48 strikes. Second start of the year, he threw 82 pitches, 44 strikes. Today, 61 pitches, 36 strikes. He's not going to get away with this for the rest of the year. You cannot be throwing as many balls as he is, and A, keep your spot in the rotation, and B, keep people from scoring. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, well, and you are now coming on to the reason why this guy is like a heart attack for me waiting to happen. Because even when he doesn't walk batters, he's behind guys all the time. He nibbles. He doesn't trust his stuff the way somebody of, his electric ability ought to. And I am sure, without being down there, and talking to the whisperer himself,
Mr. Niebla,
Ruben Niebla, that is what Ruben Niebla is trying to pound through his head. Throw strikes and let them try to hit your stuff. He doesn't give up very many hits. He gave up 1 today, right?
Yeah,
he gave up 2 in his last outing.
I know.
He gave up 4 in the first game. So far the whole season in 3 starts, he's given up 7 hits, but he's walked 13.
That's a lot,
right?
Yeah.
So
you can't be doing that.
That's absurd. And
there's not many strikeouts either.
No, you're 100% right, Skraby. I mean, he's throwing 53% strikes. That is not a ticket to success in Major League Baseball. And so far so good because he's 1-0, 169 or 1-1 with a 169. He's not giving up runs, but eventually it's going to collapse on top of itself.
Randy
you can't
Vasquez.
get away with this unless you're Blake Snell. Blake Snell can drive you crazy by not throwing strikes and still win 2 Cy Youngs. Randy Vasquez, not quite there yet.
Not quite there yet. But how can I really, because I keep thinking about this, how can I really be criticizing a guy who, as you just laid out all of his stats, sub-2 ERA, is only given up 3 earned runs total on the year, only given up a handful of hits on the year. How can I really be picking apart his performance?
Because he's going to have to be better than this. Right now, they're going to need him. All right. Darvish is not back yet. Waldron is not back yet. We know Musgrove's not coming back.
Yeah.
Vasquez is going to be in the rotation for a while.
That's true.
I mean, let's be honest. Based on his last start, who are you going to take out right now if somebody comes back? You're going to take out Kyle Hart.
Yep.
And you're going to keep Vasquez in. So he's going to have to pitch better than this, for the Padres to continue, on with the success they've had. But so far, he's kind of survived it. But 53% strike ratio,
Oscar Gonzalez made his first start for the Padres today. Last night he showed up in the middle of the game, but he went 2 for 4 today, drove in an RBI. So Oscar Gonzalez is hitting as he did all spring training long.
Took a couple of balls to the warning track between last night.
I have a
and
good
tonight
feeling
as well.
about him for some reason. I don't know why, but I have a good feeling about him.
Okay.
Manny Machado went 2 for 3 today. He walked twice. I was really interested to see today because today was going to be the first day without Jackson Merrill, Jake Cronenworth, and Fernando Tatis Jr. How is this offense and how is this lineup going to look? Because I thought immediately all the pressure switches to Manny. Manny's got to be the guy now.
Yeah, but he can't go that way, and the reason he can't is because of what you just said. He walked twice. As long as Tatis and Merrill and Cronenworth are not in, they'd be stupid to give any pitches at all to hit to Manny. And, he fought off a couple of balls to get base hits. I think one was a bloop.
Yeah.
It dropped just in front of the guy on the dive. But he's not going to get much to hit until these guys come back because big league teams are not going to let him beat them. But, the thing that sticks out to me, he's got 6 stolen bases this year in 6 attempts. Okay?
Yeah.
This is Manny Machado. The last year he stole 5. I'm sorry, he stole 11. Sorry. But he's only been in double figures 4 times in his career.
Yeah, he's not a base stealer.
He's not a big base stealer, but he's picking his spots beautifully this year.
He is.
And getting it done. 6 steals for Manny.
All right, let's go to Jason Adam. Why? Oh, because
it's a Skraby show. Maybe
maybe you can
break the clock in the Skraby show. I don't know.
Chris hands it over to me, and I completely forget about the clock, and I'm always yelling about the clock. So when we get back, I don't know that we'll talk about Jason Adam before the end of the show, but what we will do when we get back is Chris, Ben Higgins, Woodsy, and myself held a Masters draft today through text message, and we'll give you those results next on 97.3 The Fan. No traffic.
Gambling problem? Call.
I actually got in trouble once when I worked at the bank for looking up a celebrity, and it was totally wrong on my part. Totally wrong.
Looking up their account number?
Just I searched her name in the account system, and
Skraby, what is wrong with you?
I was like 19.
You'd be better off.
Cool.
You'd be better off admitting that you wore your underwear inside out. Frankly,
This guy is just searching up people's accounts.
It only happened that one time because I got caught.
How did you get caught?
The account was flagged, and anybody taking a look at it gets logged. And so I got called into the boss's office like 3 days later.
What did that come? I'm sorry, I gotta ask, but nobody's supposed to be doing this preview. What did that conversation? How did it go?
Well, why were you looking up Paris Hilton? Is that who it was?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh my goodness.
I can neither confirm. That's really funny, Chris, that you just yelled out that name out of all names.
No.
But I walked in, I got called into the office, and I sat down,
gosh.
and all my boss, I loved her. She was great. Her name was Sharon. Amazing boss. She just slid the piece of paper in front of me.
You knew.
Said, "Did you visit this account?" And I looked. Yeah. She was like, "We're gonna have to write you up for this, and if you do it again, we're gonna have to fire you." And I said, "I'll never do it again." And I got out of there as soon as possible.
Damn.
I took everything, but it was not good. Not good.
Just curiosity, huh? He's like, I wonder how much they have in their account.
Yeah. I mean, before I got caught, I did look up athletes. And,
oh my God! I'm so glad you're sitting in this seat now.
Yes, I'm so happy you're not doing any job that can be dangerous to people's futures.
This was in the first year that I was there. I learned my lesson thoroughly.
Chris, as I said, as soon as they walked in, they was like,
"Yeah,
that's our guy right there.
That's our window.
We're gonna take him down."
Yep.
Just lucky I didn't get caught for like. I can't even say. I'll tell you guys off break whose account I saw and how much money they had sitting in their checking account.
And this was how long ago, too, by the way?
2009, 10. Way before I became a good person.
Didn't Bank America end up getting in trouble? Or was that it was one of those banks got in trouble?
All of them get in trouble for selling information. But
I heard folks like you.
I wasn't selling any information. I was just wanting to see what was going on.
Curious.
I didn't check their account activity, which I could have. Been like, oh, they bought this here. I'm going to go up there. You know, I'm not that creepy.
Well, that's stock.
Oh, yeah, you're not that bad.
I'm not that creepy.
This is amazing, by the way. We're supposed to be doing.
How are we supposed to do baseball picks under these
I don't think we can
circumstances?
anymore. I think we gotta push it. You guys never did it? Well, I mean,
No, Skraby, we didn't. We didn't do it.
Really?
okay.
Like you work at a bank, you're looking at people's account information? That's unbelievable.
It only happened for a little bit, and then I got in
Only
trouble.
for a little bit.
I can't stop laughing at this because it is quite hilarious, Skraby.
But you were saying that I may have gotten robbed or whatever. I actually did get robbed when I worked in San Francisco, and they're called quick change artists.
how long did you work in the banking industry?
8 years. I was a teller supervisor when I finished. I was also the merchant teller, which took in around $150,000 in cash a day. Guess what? Always balanced at the end of the day.
Yeah, I bet.
But there was a guy who walked in. He had about $5,000 in hundreds, and he handed it to me. He said, "Can I get 50s for these?" And I said, it's pretty annoying that he wants
$5,000 in hundreds.
In hundreds, and he wanted $5,000 in 50s. He just wanted 50s instead of hundreds. So I had to go get it from the vault. I come back. I'm starting to count it out, and then he's like starting to ask me questions as I'm counting it out.
He's trying to
and then
what did I tell you, Chris? This is what I'm talking about.
That window right there.
Hey, this guy was so good that no one saw it coming. But so when I started getting mad at him because I counted out the 50s, he goes, "What are you doing? I asked for 20s." And I'm like, "What? You did not ask for 20s. You asked for 50s, bro." Yeah. I had to go to the vault to get those 50s. And as I was getting all mad and talking to my boss, he took the cash off the counter and put it into this folder that he had on the thing that
the original 5,000 in hundreds.
Yeah, well, he kept going like that, and then I was so mad, I just grabbed it and I threw it in my drawer. And then he was like, "You know what? I'm out of here." And he walked out. And then at the end of the day, $3,000.
He got an extra 3 on you.
$3,000. Yeah, he got $3,000.
The thing about criminals like that, they can sniff out a mark really easy.
I'm not a mark.
You are 1,000%.
I was actually the bank's
dog. They got you for 3 extra.
And that's the only time in my 8 years that I ever had anything happen like that. On 97.3 The Fan, Matt Skraby, the aforementioned Chris Ello, at Chris LOSD, at Matt Skraby over here.
How are you going to tell who's on the show?
What do you mean?
Well, you named the cast of characters twice.
Oh, I can do it again if you want me to.
I don't. Luka Doncic, 35 points. Third quarter, Lakers 78, Dallas 72.
He cooled down too much for me to be impressed.
You weren't going to. He had 31 at the half.
Yeah, now he's got 35. Oh, nice steal. Nice steal. Okay. So weeks ago, I approached Chris and said, "Hey, Chris, let's do something with golf this year. Let's do some sort of competition with golf." And then I came up with this extremely complicated and convoluted golf game. Well, Ben Higgins was listening on the way home, and he texted Chris, and he gave some suggestions on how we should play. And then it all became a big game, and now we are here. We have done our Masters draft between Woodsy, myself, Ben Higgins, and Chris Ello. And the way it came about was last night, I went home, and we decided we were going to do a snake draft. We decided all the rules. I took it very seriously, Chris, to make sure that you guys knew there was no funny business with the order of the draft.
Okay.
I sent you guys a video of me actually picking these things on randompicker.com.
All right.
And so it came out, you were the number 1 overall pick.
It was a 25% chance. I mean, there's only 4
I
of
didn't
us.
get it.
Well,
I don't even really think that there's much benefit. I guess you get to take the best golfer in everything.
no, I didn't take the best.
I know
golfer.
you didn't. So here's how it goes.
In fact,
these are
none of
the rules.
In fact, none of the first 3 picks took the best golfer. The best golfer went to the last pick. If you really want to be honest about it.
It could have, yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
All right. Here are the rules, though. So each of us drafted 4 golfers.
Right.
And so we have all of their odds. And we're going to add them up at the end of the Masters. And if a player gets first place, if they win the Masters and we pick them, we get their odds. Here's my example. I have 4 golfers. Winner was Colin Morikawa in my example. He had plus 1,700 odds. You get 100% of his odds.
So you get 1,700 points.
Correct. 1,700 points.
Right.
Now, top 5, if the player finishes in the top 5, you get 50% of their points.
So if Morikawa for instance, finished in the top 5, you wouldn't get 1,700. You'd get 850.
850. Thank you for doing the math.
You're good.
And top 10, you get 10% of player odds.
So in this case, Morikawa, you'd get 180 points.
You get
170. Thank you.
And then if you get cut, 0 points.
Or if you don't make the top 10, you get 0.
Yeah.
And then all 4 of our golfers are added together. Now, the reason Ben came up with this style is that Scotty Scheffler, as the favorite at plus 400, the most he can get is 400 points.
That's it.
But if you pick a long shot who's like 40,000 to 1, which there are guys, and they just get in the top 10, they'd get more points than Scheffler would get for winning.
But you're gambling big time.
But you're gambling on somebody that's, not very good.
So that's
how it worked.
Someone in the chat has a good question. Who did Woodsy pick to win? We did not pick a winner. It's just based on where they finish.
We haven't picked a winner, but we're hoping any of our 4 can win. Because we would get the points. But it was a draft. I went first.
Yes, here's how the draft went. So Chris was first, and it was a snake draft. And Chris selected Colin Morikawa at plus 1,600.
Yes, I went with Morikawa over the obvious choices of Scheffler and McIlroy because his odds were better. And I'd get more points if he does win.
Yes.
And I think Morikawa is being talked about as one of the top guys in this tournament.
He always is. He's won at least one major.
Okay.
Ben was pick number 2. He took Rory McIlroy.
Which broke your heart.
Which broke my heart, plus 650, because I was going to take him.
Of course you were.
And then, as anytime you do a draft and someone selects the guy that you know you're going to get, sends you into scramble mode.
Right.
And so I scrambled and I just looked for the next best player. I took John Rahm at plus 1,300, which I do like because Rahm can win this thing.
He won it 2 years ago.
And he will get me 1,300 points, which is not as much as your Colin Morikawa, but still, it's a decent pick. Woodsy had back-to-back picks because of the snake draft, and he took Scotty Scheffler with his 4th pick, plus
and that's why
400.
I say it's very interesting. Scheffler's the best golfer. There's no question. He's won 2 of the last 3 Masters. But all 3 of us passed on him.
Yes.
To give it to Woodsy.
I didn't feel like the plus 400 was enough. But it's a pretty good bet that he's going to finish in the top 10. So you're going to
get something.
Yes. So then he picked Ludwig Oberg with his 5th pick, plus 2,000.
And last year, Ludwig Oberg finished 2nd behind Scotty Scheffler. So Woods has both of the top 2 finishers from last year.
And then I went with my
this is one of your favorite guys. You're the only guy in the world that likes this guy.
Plus 4,000.
Victor Hovland's wife doesn't even root for him.
I don't know that Victor Hovland is married.
As hard as you root for this guy.
Victor Hovland is a great golfer. He's going to win a major one day.
Well,
so I took him.
This week.
Plus 4,000, I'll take those odds.
You got it.
Ben went with someone that I didn't expect to go, and that would be Irishman Shane Lowry. Plus 4,500. Shane Lowry has won a major. Shane Lowry can win a major. Shane Lowry falls apart quite often.
All right, we'll see if that happens this
weekend. But
weekend.
It's a good odds, plus 4,500.
My second pick was nothing short of genius.
You did steal someone that I definitely wanted. Cameron Smith, Australian. He's plus 6,000.
Yeah, the odds are incredible. He's won a major before, not the Masters. However, last 6 Masters, he's been in the top 10 5 times.
Yeah.
This guy owns Augusta National. He's got to be right up there. And at plus 6,000, I had to take this.
You had to take it. It was a fantastic selection.
Okay.
Now, the next selection, I'm not so sure about.
You didn't like this next one.
I did not expect for Chris to pick Joaquin Neiman plus 4,000.
Never even really heard of the guy. Just saw some people write nice things about him, and he was plus 4,000. Thought I'd go with him. Joaquin Neiman. Watch out for him this weekend.
He's actually not bad. I don't think of him to win majors, but he could win a major.
One of these days, you never know.
Now, Ben Higgins' number 10 pick, his next pick was a good one. I was going to Ben stole 2 of my people.
All right.
This was Bryson DeChambeau.
Yeah, DeChambeau's always a threat at the Masters. He hits the ball further than anybody. So Ben was on that with his 3rd round pick. Good pick by Ben.
Chris's favorite pick of my draft.
Oh, I can't believe you did this. You just gave in to the world here. You picked the guy you hate the most.
Brooks Koepka plus 300.
The only thing that I like about this pick is that you will have to be tortured and root for him now. And I know that's not going to be easy for you to do because you do not like Brooks Koepka.
I have changed a little bit on Brooks.
We'll see.
But he's plus 3,000. I think that's good odds for me.
Okay.
Now, Woodsy went with he had back-to-back picks. He went Tommy Fleetwood plus 4,000.
Fleetwood's good.
Yeah.
Good pick
and
there.
then Tony Finau plus 8,000. Now
he's the longest on the board for our picks.
Tony Finau
you
could
like him?
Be a selection that makes Woods gets Woods a lot of points.
We'll see. Tony Finau once at the Masters hit a shot and broke his ankle.
Dislocated his ankle.
Yeah,
literally
on a shot.
Dislocated his ankle.
Didn't they have to carry him off the course? I mean, it was a complete disaster. I'll never forget that.
He ended up playing the tournament too.
Oh, he finished up?
I don't think he finished that day.
Yeah.
I believe that was the par 3 day. And then he came out and he played the next day.
Okay.
After a dislocated ankle. Look up this video. Tony Finau dislocates ankles.
Dislocates his ankle on just a regular golf shot.
Just a regular golf shot.
Yeah. Who did you pick last, Skrabe? It was a terrible selection.
By
the way.
It was. I was panicked. I shouldn't have selected him. I even said in my text message, I'm picking Jordan Spieth, and I don't know why. At plus 3,500.
Have you figured it out yet?
I think because Jordan Spieth has won a Masters. He's played really well at Augusta over the years. He's just not the same golfer that he was when he won the Masters.
No.
And your final Ben Higgins stole Chris's final selection.
Yeah, he stole 2 of yours, and then on the way back, he stole one of mine.
Corey Connors plus 6,000.
Now, I've never really heard of Corey Connors either, but he's plus 6,000, and he's been in the top 10 3 times in the last 5 years. He's very good at the Masters, so I wanted him, but Ben snuck him.
He did.
And then I was left to find one last guy on the final pick of the draft. Did you like my final selection?
I do.
Okay.
He hasn't been good since he won his U.S. Open, but Will Zalatoris can win a major. He has the game for it.
He's a capable player.
He
So
player.
that was the
He
final
can.
pick.
So that was plus 6,000. We'll give you our results on Monday. I'm not feeling good about my team.
Well, look, it's anything can happen in these things.
No, I know.
Right?
I know. But that
you never know how it's all going to turn out.
That panic
exactly.
selection of Jordan Spieth was bad.
Bad selection by you.
All right.
All right. So we'll see, and then we're betting we're having a little a wager,
Friendly
on this.
wager between
friendly
the morning
wager.
show and the afternoon
Winner
show.
takes all.
Winner takes all.
Yeah.
When we get back, the Big Five, the best in the rest of sports for today. Ja Morant. Is he going to be fined again? I'm not so sure he's going to be fined again, but we'll talk about it.
I'm almost done finding him. Like I have to
You're
think of
ready
something else.
You ready
now.
to kick him out of the NBA?
I wouldn't miss him, frankly.
All right, we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about the sponsorship deals that the Mavericks tried to put together for Luka Doncic returning to Dallas. That's all next on 97.3 The Fan.
Ben and
now, the challenger, representing the San Diego Padres, number 20, Kyle Higashioka. Just 1 minute remaining. Out of here. That one up into the monster seat. Another home run. And that ends the round. He ends the round with 7 home runs. And he has earned a trip to the semifinal matchup. Now, the challenger is a semifinal matchup. Number 20, Kyle Higashioka. No doubt about that one. That one carried on no Lansdowne. That one is gone. He now has bonus time. Just 1 minute remaining. No question about that one. finishes. Let's see what he can do. And now, the challenger in this championship round, Kyle Higashioka. That one carried out to Lansdowne. That one is gone. And he's earned 30 seconds of bonus time. Just 1 minute remaining. That draw off the right pole. There's a home run. Seconds left. And now, the challenger, representing the San Diego Padres, number 20, Kyle Higashioka. Oh, that's a monster home run. That's a home run. He's earned 30 seconds of bonus time. That one carried on to Lansdowne. Just 1 minute remaining. 4 in a row now. It's out of here. That one went up into the monster seat. Another home run. And that ends the round. He ends the round with 7 home runs. And he has earned a trip to the semifinal matchup. Now here is the challenger in this semifinal matchup. Number 20, Kyle Higashioka. No doubt about that one. And it's drawn. That one carried on to Lansdowne. That one is gone. He now has bonus time.
And you just enjoy your name and learn to love it.
I made a shirt that said Skraby Chronicles.
Did you?
So,
You got the Braden Soprano, experience before Gwynn and Chris. We got the Skraby
I don't think
Chronicles.
Braden wants to call it that.
Well, I'm going to call it that anyway.
Oh, you're going to call it that anyway. All right.
Yes, I am. Luca's
okay.
still on 38 points, by the way. He's sitting right now, early fourth quarter. Dallas has actually come from behind, down 13, and taken an 87-85 over the lead over the Lakers. 9 minutes still to go, though. And Luca with 38 had 31 at the half.
If Tony was here right now, he would be screaming about this game.
Yeah, he would not. He would be turned around, not looking at us.
It's my favorite when there's a Lakers game on in studio.
Well,
it's the only time he's a fan.
It's he is non-pulsed by pretty much everything. Hey, Tony, Manny Machado hit 6 home runs today. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, it's baseball.
It's baseball. Yeah, he struck out 12 times. All right.
Yeah.
It's all right. Tomorrow will be
baseball.
another day. Yeah, nothing gets Tony.
But the Lakers,
Laker game starts. Tony is going crazy.
he stands in the break. He stands under the TV and watches it, and then he screams when they take bad shots. Why are you taking that shot?
And then when it goes in, he gives it this. The 3-point thing.
He does. I love it so much.
Yeah, he's a big fan.
All right. We got the big 5 coming up. We don't have any traffic right now. Anything else to update? Padres win 2-1. Well, we can talk about Jason Adam for a second. Jason Adam has 5 holds on the year, Chris.
Wow, he's been
win another inning, no hits, no runs, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. Robert Suarez is now 6 for 6 on the year in saves. 1 inning, 1 walk, no hits, no runs, no strikeouts this time, which is kind of surprising.
Well, the thing with those 2 guys, as I said, it's pretty much the most automatic thing in baseball. By the way, Jason Adams also 2-0.
He caught Wandy Peralta?
Yeah, he's caught Wandy Peralta in the vulture win category.
Yes, that is the vulture win.
But, Jason Adams, 6 1/3 innings, 2 hits this year.
I should also
Robert Suarez, 6 innings, no hits this year. I mean, the 8th and 9th inning, the game's flat out over.
I'm trying to think of another duo out there that could be as good as they are. Like, I'm not just talking statistically.
Ever or just
now?
No,
right now. Like,
no, there's not. The Padres have the best bullpen in baseball. It's statistically true.
And they lost Tanner Scott, which is crazy.
It's statistically true. And I think, beyond paper, it's true. They went 4 innings today with the bullpen and, piece of cake. This is what they can do.
Jeremiah Estrada, no hits.
I think the Dodgers honestly have a pretty, comparable when they have Evan Phillips coming back and Trinan and Tanner Scott and, a couple of other guys that are mixed in there, Vesia and some others. But, a lot of teams have good bullpens, but I think the Padres right now is the most, the one I feel the most automatic about.
You don't really have worries. I don't.
Jason Adam in the 8th inning is the best. And Suarez is, he's not giving up a hit the whole year. So I don't think he can beat that.
Good stuff all the way around for the Padres today. They're 10-3. They come back home, off day tomorrow, and then they play the Rockies at home on Friday.
Play your music for the Rockies.
What's my music?
The one you played earlier.
What did I play? I forgot.
The concern we have over the Rockies because they always beat the Padres.
I played music?
You did. You played a sounder that was perfect for this. How were you? No. You played the theme from Psycho.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Told you I'm slow this week.
There you go.
Rockies, but that is what I feel like.
That's what I feel like too. Rockies are coming.
Yeah. And I don't like it when
they're like, they've got 2 wins all year. And for all we know, they'll, win 3.
Knock on wood.
Come on. It can't happen this time.
We remember last year, Padres aren't going to get swept by the Rockies.
Padres aren't going to get swept. I said the Padres wouldn't give up a run.
I forgot about that. You did say that.
And then the Rockies won all 3 games.
That's right. No more proclamations for Chris.
They went on to win 8 of 13 on the year. The Padres had a losing record against only 1 team in the division. It wasn't the Dodgers, it wasn't the Diamondbacks, and it wasn't the Giants.
Oh, that's annoying. That's annoying. All right. With all that said, time for some Big 5.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big 5 starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
Last thing about Padres relief, I was just counting this up. In the last 4 innings, they only needed, 22 plus 18 is 47 pitches in the last 4 innings. They're averaging just over 11 pitches per inning.
Yeah, you wanted Vasquez to go the distance today. I tried to tell you.
I wish he could have gone 12 innings. Anyway.
Mike Schilt didn't.
No, I don't think we wanted to see that either. All right, let's get started with something that our friend of the show, Buster Olney, put out on ESPN. He put out some hot takes a couple of weeks into the season.
Okay.
And this may be poorly timed because of Fernando's quote-unquote injury. And we'll see what happens with that. But Buster Olney is picking Fernando Tatis Jr. to finish top 3 in MVP voting. Now, here's my question, Chris. Is this an actual hot take or just a statement?
Well, when you consider Ohtani probably has one of the spots already.
Good point.
Acuna's coming back.
He's not going to play enough.
I think it's a prediction.
Yeah,
I don't find it to be a hot take. No.
It's not a hot take.
That's
to
different.
me.
Hot take would be
Jackson
something
Merrill
like,
top 3.
or Luis Camposano on the All-Star team.
I wonder who said that.
I can't remember.
But I do love that people are starting to really pay attention to some of the Padres stars. I mean, Fernando's been good enough to pay attention to this year. And for an update on his injury, Mike Shildt said he believes that he's going to have Jake Cronenworth and Fernando back on Friday, but do not hold him to that because it could change.
Fernando, I can't believe you don't think he gets enough attention already. I mean, you really honestly think Fernando is forgotten about over here? He's been talked about as one of the most electric players in baseball for 6 years. And he's only been playing for 6 years.
I don't think we've had MVP thoughts.
He's been on the cover of MLB The Show.
And there was a lot that happened in between MLB The Show and today.
I don't know. Fernando's on the All-Stars last year. He won the Platinum Glove the year before that. He's been top 5 in the MVP balloting twice. I think he's gotten plenty of recognition.
Right, you're ruining my take, which is fine. I mean, you're spitting facts, as they say.
Yes, I am.
All right.
Number 4.
John Morant. Actually, I got to put this up on the stream real quick because you got to see this. Again, we're on YouTube. If you want to watch, just search 97.3 The Fan on YouTube, and you'll be able to find the show. But John Morant is someone we talk about on the show because he is a really good basketball player. But he's also not the smartest basketball player in the world, I think, Chris, because he has been suspended twice in his career for flashing a gun on an Instagram Live, and he was fined $75,000 last week because he was doing finger guns after making a 3 or something like that. Which
After
the
he
NBA
basically been told not to do that.
Yeah, the NBA said, don't do it, and he did it again the next day.
Right.
So he got fined $75,000 for it. He's back, though. He thinks that this is the way to go. And here's the video. I don't need to play the audio or anything, but John Morant hits a 3 and he turns around, puts something up to his mouth, bites out a pen, throws something into the crowd, covers his ears, waits for the explosion. So his celebration was throwing a grenade into the crowd after he made this 3.
Can we just be clear that he didn't actually throw
Oh, yeah,
grenade?
it was all
you
fake.
didn't say that.
Oh. I mean, I think we would have heard about this.
Well, he didn't throw an actual grenade. He pretended to throw a grenade.
But he still did it.
Yes, I understand. I'm not sticking up for him. I'm just trying to be clear.
Here's my question on this. Should the NBA... So there's been no word on the punishment, but maybe he was warned about finger guns and not grenades?
Yeah.
So I'm up. Should the NBA fine or suspend him? Depending on what they told him he is not allowed to do, if they said you are not allowed to do finger guns, then that's fine. They can fine him. If they've never said you can't pretend to throw a grenade into the crowd, then they can't fine him. But they could definitely tell him you are... Anything you do going forward can be fined or you can be suspended for. But if he gets suspended again, third time for something that's just stupid, you got to start questioning what's going on with that guy. I just don't understand it.
I have the answer.
What is it?
Here's the thing. You don't find John Morant anymore. You don't even talk to John Morant anymore. You know what happens when like a 4-year-old is told they can't do something? Do you know what they do? No, they do it.
Oh.
That's what 4-year-olds do. Maybe 3-year-olds. This is John Morant. He gets told he can't do something, so he immediately does it. You know the best way to deal with 4-year-olds? Stop kowtowing to them and just ignore them until they get tired of whining. Right? That finally works, usually.
Yeah.
I think that's what you got to do with this guy. I'm kind of over him personally, and I really don't care what he does. I have no reaction to any of the stupid things he does any longer. And I think the NBA either ought to, say, look, we don't want you in our league, or just forget it. Just let him be an idiot. Most of us recognize that he's being an idiot. Some of us think he's funny and cool. And for those of you who think he's funny and cool, that's your right as well.
I actually don't mind the grenade throwing into the stands, but you're not allowed to do it. That's the thing, is the NBA says, no, don't do any of these weapon gestures or celebrations.
I said this the other day. There's only one way messing around with guns is going to end.
Yeah,
badly.
Really bad. All right.
Number 3.
More basketball. Luka Doncic has returned to Dallas, and there was a weird thing happen leading up to this. The Mavericks wanted to celebrate his return after trading him a few months ago, and the ESPN report said, quote, team sources told ESPN the Mavs had also lined up lucrative sponsorship deals for Wednesday's game with multiple companies that Doncic endorses, but those deals fell apart after Doncic's camp, say that name 10 times fast, Doncic's, declined to give its blessing, pointedly noting that he now plays for the Lakers, end quote. Chris, what would have been the right thing to do for Luka?
What they did.
Exactly.
Yeah, they put a really nice video together. It's a nice tribute to him before the game. It moved him to tears.
It did.
Got everybody in their seat, up out of their seat in Dallas. Brought down the house lights. Everyone applauded, stood, cheered him. He went out to center court. Got the adulation of his former fans, which he deserved, and they deserved to have a chance to give to him. And then he's out there playing the game, and he had 31 at the half, and now he's still got 38. The Lakers are up by 8 now in the fourth quarter.
Do you think that the organization at all is doing this only to smooth things over, at least attempt to smooth things over?
I don't think it matters
fans
anymore. I think it's way too late.
Oh, I think it's way too late, too.
Yeah, the only thing, their fans hate them.
It's true.
The only thing that will change is if, Anthony Davis rises up, Kyrie Irving rises from, the sick bed or out of the, gets back into the lineup next year, and Dallas, with Klay Thompson and everybody adds something to it and gets a good season. But for the time being, they're gonna hate the Mavericks for this trade.
Side note, Chris, Jose is asking about Ja Morant. Is he becoming the modern, or he said he is becoming the modern day Dennis Rodman? I can't answer that.
Yeah, it's close. Rodman did a lot of stupid stuff too.
All I remember is him kicking that cameraman.
Kicked the photographer.
In the nether region.
Everything Dennis Rodman did was to call attention to himself. And I think everything Ja Morant does is to call attention to himself. And so when you get people that want to do that, you stop paying attention to them. That's what normally works.
Number 2.
Fox Sports listed the top players who have the most pressure on them heading into the 2025 NFL season. And here are the top 3 in order. Number 1, Brock Purdy. Number 2, Caleb Williams. Number 3, Puka Nacua. So I'm up first. Which NFL player has the most pressure heading into the 2025 season? I don't think any of those guys have the most pressure. This guy wasn't even on the list.
You don't think Brock Purdy has pressure?
No.
And the 49ers basically have broken up their entire team so that they can try to get him signed, which they still haven't done, by the way.
Okay, Brock Purdy has pressure, but I don't think it's as much pressure as someone like Dak Prescott or Prescott. Like, Dak Prescott has real pressure.
Why?
Because
we already know
he's paid the highest guy. He's the highest paid quarterback of the league for a little bit.
We're over Dak Prescott. We already know he can't get the job done. There's no more pressure on him.
Okay.
We don't expect him to do anything anymore.
That's a fair point. I will say that Caleb Williams probably faces a lot of pressure because number 1 overall pick, they got the coach that they wanted in Ben Johnson for the Bears. Caleb Williams had a okay season last year, not great. He got sacked a lot. I think that he has a lot of pressure to make a big jump in year 2. Brock Purdy has pressure, but they're going to sign him regardless.
You're trying not to put pressure on Brock Purdy. He's going to face an immense amount of pressure in San Francisco now with the contract.
Who do you think is the number one?
Well, I
pressure
think it's Russell Wilson still is going to have it, especially if he ends up starting in New York for the Giants. Wherever Aaron Rodgers go, there's going to be some pressure, although he'll be on ayahuasca and won't notice
doesn't care.
But I mean, I think some of it will be on the Eagles. They're the Super Bowl champs. They got to have a little pressure, but and the Chiefs to try to get back. I don't know. I like Jackson Merrill's take on it. I'm not under pressure. I create pressure. I think most of these guys in the NFL kind of feel the same. I think this is kind of just an article that they had to, come up with some names for.
McRuff, the artist, agreed with you. Russell Wilson. Didn't even think about that one.
All right.
Number 1.
All right, we've talked a lot about the Pirates this week, and it has nothing to do with the baseball being played on the field, but the Pittsburgh Pirates are making some interesting decisions these days, and they, we talked about the advertisement that was put over the Roberto Clemente logo that was in right field. Well, now fans are mad because PNC Park removed the commemorative bricks from in front of the stadium, and those are the bricks that fans paid for. With messages and things like that. So after the backlash,
you pay like $100 a brick. You get your name on there for perpetuity.
Papa Joe loves his Pirates.
People bought them outside of Petco Park.
They did.
They're there.
Now the backlash has been received by the Pirates because people were very angry, and the bricks are coming back, Chris. This reminds me of when the Giants did this. When they redid their stadium, they ripped up all the bricks and put a digital representation of the bricks, and everybody got mad. So
what was the Pirates' reasoning for this?
They remodeled, and they said that throughout the time since it's been there, they've chipped away, and it created walking hazards. And
then refresh them. You sold them as something to last forever.
Here's what their president said, quote, "We respect, appreciate, and understand just how meaningful these messages are. We share in that feeling." You ripped them up, though. "We have been actively planning to develop and unveil a more permanent display for these special messages to honor the enduring support that our fans shared then and continue to share in our future. We look forward to sharing those details soon in celebration of our 25th season at PNC Park."
This was the same president who removed the Roberto Clemente sign, or it happened under his watch.
Yes, correct.
This guy is in the vicinity when I swing my dead cat.
You're hitting idiots?
He's just an idiot. I can't believe, I don't understand how people like this get jobs like that. How are you the president when you're that tone deaf? How? I don't get it.
I don't know that this was his decision, though.
I don't care. It's under his watch.
It is under his watch. Which surprises you more, them removing the bricks or that PNC Park has been open for 25 years? That kind of surprises me a little bit.
Well, the bricks is just, I don't understand.
Here's the question.
Any new stadium sells bricks in there for forever. You can't just take them out.
Here's the question, Chris. Do you think the Pirates care about their fans?
What fans?
There's like
they don't have to care too much about them. Yeah, they don't have too many of them.
They need them, though. They need them. But this is more just a story.
Bad franchise, right? You wonder why the Pirates suck on the field every year. Bleep trickles downhill.
And I'm getting
led by the team president the owner who's stupid enough to hire that guy in the first place.
Ooh, Dominic has a good NFL pressure guy. Lamar Jackson has pressure. Definitely does.
A little bit, yeah.
I like how I'm getting on the chat different things about what they're doing with the bricks. They wanted to throw these bricks away. And the only reason they're saying they want to do more things with the bricks because people were angry. That's the only reason. That's it for the Skraby Show Skraby Chronicles featuring Chris L.O. Tomorrow, Roundtable, 10 a.m. Our show starts at 2 p.m. We will talk with another one of our Apple MLS insiders, and we'll also have all of the usual things on Gwynn and Chris.
Oh, we're talking SDFC tomorrow.
We're talking SDFC tomorrow.
And the Masters gets underway, folks.
Yes.
Friends.
Benwood start at 6 a.m. Roundtable, 10 a.m. on 97.3 The Fan. Good night, everybody.